he's been threatening.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. This as the U.S. keeps pushing for peace talks. Tomorrow marks 600 days of war between Israel and Hamas.
Negotiations are ongoing to try and reach a ceasefire agreement that could see some of those remaining 58 hostages freed from Hamas captivity. Officials on both sides have released mixed statements on the status of the current mediation, but reports indicate if successful, they could lead to a 70-day ceasefire.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Meantime, a chaotic scene in Gaza as crowds of Palestinians tried to reach one of the new aid distribution centers opened by a group backed by the U.S. and Israel, but criticized by the UN and other humanitarian organizations. Reports of Israeli tank and gunfire and staff retreating as desperate people broke through fences. The Israeli military reportedly calling it warning shots in the area, but not gunfire toward the aid center. King Charles giving a rare speech to Canada's parliament.
Many Canadians are feeling anxious and worried about the drastically changing world around them. Fundamental change is always unsettling.
He says Canada's government will protect the country's sovereignty, considered a message that counters a Trump suggestion of a 51st state. America's listening to Fox News.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperature's pretty easy to take going through our Tuesday afternoon. We should top out close to 70, but still partly to mostly cloudy skies. Still a chance of a scattered shower, but again, expect a lot of dry time. Any scattered showers quickly fade this evening, but clouds dominate 58. A couple of nice days after that. Wednesday, partly sunny 74. Do it again Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm realizing something that you've probably realized already, that I need to eat more protein. I probably eat too much sugar. I mean, we talk about this on the show all the time. But I figured out a way to do this, and it involves Andrea's. I'm now just taking a full pork tenderloin, multiples at a time, cooking them with Andrea's sauce, and then just putting them in the refrigerator because they taste great even after the fact. Like, you make them right, and you can eat them for weeks. And this is what I've been doing to eat more protein. Andrea's is the great equalizer, as I've said before. You get a bottle of Andrea's steak sauce, and you can kind of phone it in. Like, I know great chefs and barbecue masters who love Andrea's sauce because they know that it's like the top of the line. But it also, for people like me who aren't great barbecuers, it just kind of makes everything easier. So get a bottle of Andrea's sauce next time you're at Schnucks or Deerberg's or any of the butchers that carry them in the area. A lot of them do because they know it's so good. You can go to Andreas.com. But really, just get a bottle of it and see what I've been talking about for so long. Andreas.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even let him give me a Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah.
That's how little I feel about people. I don't know.
Well, and a MAGA supporter is like
calling you right
that's-
now.
I got it.
Somebody's.
I fixed it.
Tell that MAGA man, leave you alone.
I'm not sleeping with you anymore.
Well, there's Joy Behar. Joy Behar just said, this is where the view is right now. Joy Behar says that if she were choking, she would not let a MAGA person give her the Heimlich. And all the MAGA people are like, okay.
Bet.
Happy Monday/Tuesday, folks.
I would still try. She's a human being.
I'm going to save your life. Take that.
And if she fought me, then I would give up easily, but I would still try.
Can you imagine being so deranged in your head that you're choking? You're like, who did you vote for?
Yeah.
And they're like, Trump. They're like, kick you out of the way, and then you just die.
Yeah. Does that say Trump Pence or Trump Vance? I can't. It doesn't matter. I hate both of them.
I don't know. This is not healthy. Listen, I think you and I all know there are things in our life. For some, it's politics. Yes, I understand that. There are things in our lives that irrationally agitate us, enrage us, infuriate us. Is there anything you're willing to share off the top of your head that I am more emotionally charged about this than a healthy person should be?
Yes.
What is it? This show?
Sometimes, more often though,
I asked.
It is committed leftist economists. I'm
Idiots.
like, you are committed to the bit. I give you that. But nothing you're saying makes any sense.
But you're rationally assessing that they're very, very stubbornly wrong. But you're saying that in your gut.
Oh, I want to fight you online. I will spend quality family time fighting you online and know that I'm in the wrong.
Man, to an extent, sometimes, those people don't bother me. I just don't understand. I don't understand the online warriors in general. But to the point, there are things, every human being has something that makes you irrationally emotional. And the key is being self-aware about the irrational nature of that emotion. For me, as you and pretty much everybody in my life knows, mine is loud chewing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that one.
And the people in my life that are good people who I care about and who at least moderately care about me, put your ice down right now. Stop it. No, don't do it.
I just wanted to get a drink.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I won't.
Don't.
I'm thirsty.
I have the stress in my chest.
I'm thirsty for attention.
Well, don't crunch your eyes while you do it. But no, if you are somebody who is, why are you, I say this and you guys both are picking up your beverages.
Once water gets picked up, everybody needs a drink.
But not in the
It's
microphone.
like yawning.
It is.
I don't know, maybe.
I remember where I was when I first discovered the word misophonia, which is this enraging sensation that you get when you hear people making certain kind of specific noises. Mostly it's, oh my gosh, gum chewing. And there are people, most of you normies out there are going, Why? Like, why are we, why are you, I mean, I don't like prefer to listen to people chew loudly, but this doesn't make sense to me. And there are other people going, like, we are now soul sisters and soul brothers. Is that a thing? Are there soul brothers?
Probably. It's probably more of an African-American thing, though.
Huh?
It's probably more of a Black American thing. I don't think we call each other soul brothers.
I don't think soul sisters, I don't think they're the same.
No, I don't either.
When I say soul sisters, it's not a racial thing. When you look at Joy Behar and you see her on the set, this is the part to me that blows my mind, because I really do understand the extent that people have their hatred towards Donald Trump. I think they're completely and totally wrong about it, but a lot of these people are so committed to the bit, and they've been lied to. I don't think Joy Behar has been deceived. I think Joy Behar is a deceiver of other people, and it's super gross because she makes money off of it. Joy Behar's career, as of this point in it, is predicated on making sure she perpetuates a certain kind of safe space for the people who have irrational hatred for Donald Trump, like a psychological disorder that causes them to hate Donald Trump so much that they come to The View to be fulfilled. It's the daily hit that they can get to make sure that they can come together with like-minded people who are also delusional. To actually say on the air that if I were choking, I would refuse the Heimlich from a MAGA supporter is insane. That's certifiably insane. Like, you need to tell somebody professional about that.
Shoe on the other foot. If you or I were choking and the only person in the room was a far left, like dyed hair, piercings, like clearly non-binary, whatever, like the furthest left person caricature you can come up with, are you going, Or are you like, somebody get this chicken bone out of my throat?
Yes. I don't care. I could not care less. And just because you saved my life doesn't mean I owe you socialist allegiance.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you don't have to do anything else. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am in gratitude to you for the rest of my life. I want to be friends with you.
Maybe what we're missing here, the mark, is that she knows that MAGA people would offer the Heimlich, and it's kind of a concession as to the generosity and gratitude, kindness that the MAGA crowd has. I mean, if that's your philosophy on life, and she's in a room full of MAGA people, very politically charged people, I assume that there'd be somebody from the left who would step up to help. The weird thing is waiting for them. How much time do you have? I don't. It's to come out on your show and say, to that extent, that you would rather die than be physically touched by a MAGA supporter. How do these people have how is that? I get your feelings. I get you're super emotional about it, but this is a situation where, why don't you talk about the policies that you don't like about Donald Trump? You've just said that, like, basically half of the country is unclean to you.
This is a popular TV show. I mean, this is an actual show that people across the entire country watch. Let me add one more wrinkle to my shoe on the other foot.
You got a lot of shoes on that foot.
So the far left person walks up to you to save your life. They're going to give you the Heimlich.
Yeah.
But they are also just noshing on a pot roast open mouthed.
Death. I'll die.
Okay.
I'll die.
Just making
no,
sure.
Here's what's going to happen. They save me, then I kill them.
Okay.
Trying to give me the Heimlich. Like, would you chew with your mouth closed?
You don't care about their politics, though.
No.
But chewing on like a bunch of potatoes and carrots, maybe some beef, that's going to get you.
I'm going to throw up. This is terrible.
Push it a little bit just to make sure.
Yeah, and that's how we both died. He was saving me. I tried to kill him. It was bad for both. See? Irrational fear, or not fear, irrational disgust is not good for your health.
Mm-hmm.
Joy. Isn't it funny that her name is Joy?
Mm-hmm.
Let's play this clip here from Speaker Johnson talking about the big, beautiful bill.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with what my dear friend Rand Paul said. I love his conviction and I share it. The national debt is the greatest threat to our national security, and deficits are a serious problem. What I think Rand is missing on this one is the fact that we are quite serious about this. This is the biggest spending cut, Shannon, in more than 30 years. We're going to cut over $1.5 trillion in spending.
Eric Burlison, representative of Missouri 7th District, Republican, of course, is going to be on the show with us at 1:25. Phone call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, phone.
We're going to talk to him. He is a Freedom Caucus guy, and he's a pretty legit Freedom Caucus guy.
Good.
He voted for this bill, but I'm going to ask him, like, listen, the people who wanted, we asked the question on this show, wasn't it 70? The number in my head is 78% of the people who responded, of over 250 people, 78% said pass Trump's bill. There is a lot of dismay, disheartedness from Republicans that the DOGE cuts haven't been implemented in this bill, that all of this talk about cutting. Ryan, you were an advocate for that in a big way, to the point where you said, don't pass that bill. Don't vote in favor of it. I want more cuts. The bill passed in the House last week by one vote. It goes to the Senate, and the Senate's going to have the opportunity to make changes. The fact of the matter is that those changes that could be made in the Senate could potentially reflect some of those savings that we were hoping to get. It could also pull back on some of the things that were implemented and make the bill a little bit softer. So we don't know what the Senate is going to do. We have to sit and we have to watch and we have to wait. But there are a lot of people wrestling right now. It almost feels like a little bit of fatigue, like people have been holding their breath on this for so long since the election, this idea of coming in and ripping apart the federal government and taking everything out that is in there and only putting back the things that are necessary. People are feeling like, I thought you said we could do this. I thought we could go in there and we could rip this thing apart and really do the work that needs to be done. And they're not satisfied with the amount of cutting that has been put into place with what the House passed. I still firmly believe that the size of the wrecking ball that voters, MAGA supporters, Donald Trump supporters, the size of the wrecking ball that they want to see crash through the federal government is not a realistic thing that can pass in the House. But you can, for me, while I believe that it can't realistically make it through and pass in the House and in the Senate, that also doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have great disappointment, but that's actually the situation in reality. How often do you have to come to grips with what reality is, and you're just like, this is what it is, and it's incredibly disappointing? Because you're paying attention. You want to see these cuts implemented. I think it's $3.8 trillion that is added to the deficit over the course of the next 10 years with this new budget. So the deficit is going to continue to grow in the next 10 years. How many times do we criticize Joe Biden for talking about, what would he say? Like, this is the greatest spending cut in, I don't know, millennia, something stupid.
Yeah.
But the point was, what he was saying was a political marketing phrase that meant we're still spending more than we're taking in. We're just doing it at a slower rate. So the budget, our deficit is growing, period. And then the next sentence after that is it's growing at a slower rate than it was before. But hello, you had COVID in there. The government spent more money. The influx of spending that took place in stimulus packages and all of that stuff went bonkers over COVID. So you don't even get credit for that. Rand Paul's suggestion was consistently, let's just go to 2019 spending levels. Let's just go pre-COVID and we'll do that. Can we do that? And it seems as though that isn't 100% what the case is. So when you look at what the House Republicans have done, and we're going to have one of them on the show, one of your Missouri representatives, Eric Burlison, at 1:25 today. We're going to be talking to one of them that is I'd be curious, and I will ask him, what grade does he give House Republicans? He is one of them. But I don't think that if we're talking about understanding and accepting reality, but still being pretty disappointed in it, I bet he's probably right there. But here's the additional question that I have. Isn't it right to say that the Republicans next year could go through and implement even more cuts? The Republicans, yes, you have to retain and hopefully grow the Republican majority in the House and maintain or potentially grow the Republican majority in the Senate. But this isn't the only shot they have at it. And if they are able to do when I pushed back on Ryan a little bit last week when he was advocating not for the Republicans not to vote for the bill, to push for more spending cuts, which I know a lot of you understand and agree with that. When we look into the future, we have more opportunity, years 2, 3, and 4, if we don't get our butts kicked in the midterms, to continue to add these things in. And what I added to the conversation last week is Donald Trump and Elon Musk has come out here and said this. He goes, he basically said, in order to do what we need to do to fix the deficits and pay down the debt, we can't cut our way out of it. We have to grow production here. We have to grow the American economy. We have to grow it through business. And that is a huge, like the gamble that Donald Trump is taking right now. He gave another 45-day extension or something, 90 to Europe. And the stock market is reflecting accordingly. I think he said till July 9th, because he said he got a phone call from them, from someone says, okay, we want serious negotiations with you. Can we have a little bit more time? And he said, yeah. Donald Trump's bet here has always been cutting spending, but married with growing the United States economy. So we can't live in this vacuum of just looking at the congressional budgeting cuts to think it's all got to be there. And Elon Musk, and it's like sad Elon Musk. Nobody wants to see sad Elon Musk, but he's super sad Elon Musk right now. We have to invest in our country and grow our own economy and start bringing things back here in order to do the things that we want to see: balanced budget, paying down debt. It's bigger than just the cuts. Go to the AnyFry YouTube live chat poll. Is the poll up? Did I put the poll up? If it isn't up, I'll put it up right here in the commercial break. And we want to know what your grade is for the House Republicans, and I will ask Congressman Burlison that at 1:25. Stick around. We're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other news. The Ukraine war as well. I'm going to throw this out here to our group and be interested to see what you guys think about it as well. It's not going the way Donald Trump said it was going to go when he got into office. We'll discuss the developments next. Don't go away.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group is online at retirementkey.com. When you are looking to protect your retirement, if you don't even know, like, gosh, I'd really like to retire in the next 5 years, can I? Maybe you could retire sooner than that. Maybe you are going to miss the mark and you need to know everything you can know to make it so you can get as close to that 5-year mark. Whatever your situation is, there's a free conversation waiting for you when you call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And talk to them about what you can do to secure a worry-free retirement. That sit-down conversation with Thomas Helbig, with Bob and Tammy Kershaw at the Retirement Advisory Group costs you nothing. So you get to basically vet them, tell them what you know, ask them questions. They'll tell you how they can help you. And then you can decide for you if this is what you want to sign up for. I think you will. Most do. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Hit them up online at retirementkey.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
With my head up in outer space, I know I'll be A-O-A-OK. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK. When I see trouble come my way, I'll be making lemonade. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, the YouTube live chat poll, which is now up on YouTube, which is super helpful when I implore you to go vote. If you came and tried to vote at noon, I suck. So just go vote now, please, and let us know how you grade the House GOP. We have Congressman Burlison, Eric Burlison, is going to be with us at 1:25. I'm going to ask him that question. Do you think he's going to give him, is he going to give, it's kind of weird for a congressman to not be like, I think we're doing a great job. But I think he's going to maybe be, he might couch that grade a little bit. But he's also probably seen the negotiations, so he knows how the sausage was made.
Yeah. Well, he's seen the negotiations on the House side and then knows that it's stalled a little bit in the Senate side, too. So I'm sure that's all part of it.
Well, we'll ask him at 1:25, and we hope that you'll be here with us when we have that conversation. If you have thoughts or questions that you'd like Congressman Burlison to ask, or for us to ask him, make sure you comment them on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and we will look for those and set them aside and try to include some of them. The Jim Carafano is traveling today, so we're not going to get to speak with him at 1:05 like we traditionally do, but we do have the Deputy White House Press Secretary Kush Desai back on with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk a lot about MAHA. I am so wide-eyed about everything Make America Healthy Again. If I were giving myself a grade on effort of how I'm trying to be healthy, I'd probably give myself a B+. Execution, it's probably an F, honestly. When you think about all of the things that we consume, all of the unhealthy things that make it into our systems every day, and we don't know that that's happening, the system is set up to work against us. And even if you have the best of intentions, it doesn't end up materializing because there are so many things that are part of our health system that are working opposed to what we're trying to do to be healthy. And, there's evidence all across the globe of people who are eating things that we're eating, but they're eating them in a different recipe, essentially. Pasta, the way people eat pasta in Europe. First of all, I always think pasta being as much portion size as anything, because Americans eat pasta as a main dish, where, like in Italy, it's like a side. Usually there's like a protein or something like that, and the pasta is like a side.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think I may have heard that, but I wouldn't have.
That's my understanding, at least. That Americans are like, I'll have like the amount of pasta that you get if you go to like an Italian restaurant. I'm not going to call any out specifically, but those like chain Italian restaurants, like the idea of having like bottomless spaghetti is like 10 times the amount of spaghetti that you would eat. It's just, we consume it differently. But also the ingredients that go into, you could stop eating the huge portion sizes and still eat stuff that's chock full of crap. And you don't know that you're doing it. So Kush Desai will be with us at 1:05 to talk about that. But I did want to discuss a little bit about Ukraine. And Donald Trump has said some very charged things towards Vladimir Putin. I mean, the idea that like he was going to come into office and he was going to solve this, bring peace immediately to this conflict, that has not happened. And, I have no problems looking at reality and saying, nope, that didn't occur. Here's the president speaking outside of Marine One, I think.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
So when you hear the president saying that, does he get credit for the fact that political credit for the fact that he's saying, not complimenting Putin? A lot of people on the left are going to be like, well, we knew that all along. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump have worked together for a common, I won't even say good, I'll say common outcome. But Donald Trump has not been able to crack this nut. He has not been able to go in and stop the fighting. He's not been able to go in and bring these people to a mutual understanding of benefit that would at least stop the killing. Maybe there's not, inherent understanding and agreement on peace per se, but as soon as they start getting closer to this concept of maybe a ceasefire or whatever, then they have those talks, it becomes news, and then they come out and they're like, they start bombing each other once again. And it almost makes you feel foolish for ever thinking that it could possibly work.
The only guy that can do this is President Trump. I really believe that. I've said that repeatedly on air. Right. That based on his personality, who he is, he's the one who can bring peace to the region. It's not going to be easy. Negotiations are never easy, but there's nowhere this war is going to end through violence, through killing of soldiers on either side. Right. It's going to come down to negotiation. That's where you have to be.
So that's Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, pretty regular here on the Annie Fry Show, saying, like, if this is going to get done, it's going to have to get done through Trump. Do you feel any closer to some sort of peace agreement today than you did when Trump won?
Oddly, yes, I do. Although the more people talk about, well, Trump's the only one that can get it done, because it's lots and lots of people say that. There are people overseas that say that. The more I hear it, the more I'm thinking, man, psychologically, Putin probably doesn't want Trump to get credit for ending the war. He wants it to be on his terms. Zelensky probably does too, to a certain extent. So I just don't know if Trump is going to be the figure that everybody expects that he's going to be, unless he can do it a little bit more in the background, a little bit quieter. But some of this escalation feels like the final big push before they really start talking to me.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected President Donald Trump's push to have the next round of Russia-Ukraine peace talks at the Vatican, which is something that was talked about when President Trump was going through the Middle East. There was like just kind of a suggestion that was thrown out that maybe they'd swing by Turkey, I think it was, on the way home, and they'd sit down and have these conversations. That got brushed off before the president even left the Middle East. There's that clip of him saying, I got to get home. My daughter had a baby, and I want to get home to see my grandchild. So, smart move on the president to say something like that. But then as soon as they got back, they were like, what if we do this at the Vatican? Putin said no. The president had floated that idea since newly appointed American pontiff suggested it earlier this month. So that was actually suggested by the new pope. Though it remains unclear when another round of talks will be held, as Russia has yet to agree to the United States peace proposal, and its foreign ministry on Tuesday claimed it was still working on its memorandum of terms. Trump on Tuesday, that's today, took to social media to issue a warning to Putin and said he's, quote, playing with fire. His Truth Social post says, quote, what Vladimir Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean, all caps, really bad. He's playing with fire. Similarly, Ukrainian President Zelensky accused Moscow of, quote, playing games after it carried out the largest drone strike ever in the 3-year-long war in a Sunday attack in which Russia launched 335 drones and 9 cruise missiles at civilian targets. Trump said, I have always had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He's gone absolutely crazy. This is all in a Fox News report by Caitlin McFall on foxnews.com. I'm really asking myself, what's the value of American interest here? I mean, there are people who just want Americans to stick their head in the sand and to, if Ukraine takes over, or if Russia takes over Ukraine, which seems to be the ultimate goal here. They take Crimea and then they move a little bit further in when they, what was that, the minor incursion?
Mm-hmm.
The intent would be to consume Ukraine. The implications of doing that are significant because of the new borders that they would share, the countries that they would share borders with. When you listen to President Trump talk about this, and to kind of, I guess, I'm not saying this in a dismissive way, but he's trying to explain away the lack of progress, the lack of tangible progress. What the American people see through a political lens as progress, there has to be so much work and effort put in to getting to something that the American people will even glance at and consider progress. These are very complicated things, just like Kellogg was saying. But President Trump often says this would have never happened if he would have been the president and Joe Biden wouldn't have been the president. And you have to compare where the amount of people, millions dead in this war. Is it true that Joe Biden and whatever his presidency was, which we're finding out every single day, more consequence to what was really going on during the Joe Biden presidency? And it actually makes me mad, especially like if I take a break this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, lovely weekend for me, for my family. When I get back in the car and I'm driving to work and I'm listening to the news or I'm catching up to come in here and I start hearing the new reports about Joe Biden and what was really going on, it's enraging to me. And I have to ask myself, do I need to go back on the air today and pull my hair out because, oh my gosh, Joe Biden wasn't in charge during his presidency? The consequences of the Joe Biden presidency is what's going on in Ukraine right now, is Russia's attack on Ukraine right now. That is blood on the hands of a president who, I don't know that he permitted it, but who was in charge. Whomever was in charge permitted it. And we don't even have an answer to that question. How many times did we say on this show, somebody's going to write a book? I wanted to use an adjective there. A book.
A blanking book?
Yes. My kids are off school now, and the FCC.
Ah, yes. Just say blanking.
He wanted to write a blanking book. Somebody was going to write a blanking book, and they were going to expose everything. And I said then, there's going to be a lot of money to be made with the first person who comes out with the book. I thought, here's where I was way off the mark. I thought it would be an insider in the White House. I thought it would be somebody who had a first-person access to whatever was going on in the White House, to President Biden or to whomever was the acting president through the puppet of Joe Biden. I thought it would be someone from the inside. I didn't know it was going to be an actual journalist, somebody whose job it is to come and answer questions, ask questions, get to the bottom of the truth, and bring the American people closer to the truth. Because remember, when Jake Tapper is reporting, is anchoring for CNN, he's supposed to be an advocate for you. He's supposed to be an advocate for the American people. He's supposed to, the free press, the First Amendment, the freedom of the press, it's in number one. It's the first thing that has to be established so that the rest of it can exist. And Jake Tapper at CNN the whole time was supposed to be doing what he's doing now, except for he's not doing it now to expose truth. He's doing it now to make money. And everybody knows it. Everybody understands it. And we're just casually okay with it. So we're supposed to sit here and we're supposed to ask ourselves, what is Donald Trump doing about the Ukraine-Russian war? And we're talking about how billions of dollars that have been spent of the American taxpayers' money. We're trying to figure out how to cut. We got work requirements for Medicaid now. People are freaking out about that. We want to cut taxes on Social Security. We can't cut taxes on Social Security right now, but we can spend billions in Ukraine for a war that never should have started because the guy who was in charge was asleep at the wheel. We lost American lives in the pullout of Afghanistan so that guy that was, air quotes, running the presidency could say that he actually acted on ending the Afghanistan war, the war in Afghanistan, our participation in it. Donald Trump is trying to clean up all of these messes, and we've got leftists on the same network of the guy who's selling a book to try to expose the things that he wouldn't even ask questions about when Joe Biden was actually the president. This is incestuously treasonous on behalf of the people who are supposed to advocate for you. The press is supposed to advocate for the American citizen. That's the only thing that keeps this whole thing going. And that might seem a little extreme, Annie. Oh, the press is going to save us? We're toast. Well, yeah, actually, that's actually how it's going to work. You could say democracy dies in darkness, and you could actually mean it, or you could use it to sell more. The light is supposed to come with the constant pursuit of truth from the American press, and the American press has tucked that away, put it in the closet, locked the door, and sold you a book. We played the Jon Stewart clip last week, which I can't get out of my head. They have this montage of CNN promoting Jake Tapper's book. They have the news in their hands, and they're like, it'll be out in 3 weeks. What the blank is that? What are we being sold? Why is CNN on in airports everywhere? How did they get that deal? Why is CNN on at all? Nobody's watching it. Nobody who has a choice is watching it. And the people who are consuming CNN, like it's their job, are the Joy Behars of the world who said, if I were choking, I'd rather die than have a MAGA person give me the Heimlich. These are not rational people. This is not rational thinking. And the last election to put Donald Trump into office was an absolute rebuke. People know now. It's been exposed, but now that it's been exposed, we don't know what to do with it. We have this really nasty wound exposed, and now we're like, oh, I didn't know that was there. What do we do now? We have to do something. We have to do something to address what is real, what is right in front of us, and we cannot spend all of our time looking at Donald Trump and trying to make political hay out of all of the messes he's had to clean up of what Joe Biden or whomever was acting as Joe Biden for 4 years, what they did to this country for their own procurement and expansion of power, of access, of money. They did it on your future, on your child's future, on your grandchildren's future. They mortgaged the whole thing. I don't get to work, if Donald Trump hasn't solved the Russia, if he would have come in here and we're 4 months in and he fixed it, that'd be outrageous. That'd truly be outrageous. It's all politics. Against Trump, everything is politics against Trump, but Joe Biden did real measurable damage to this country. Can you imagine if Kamala Harris were in charge right now? I don't think she can imagine if Kamala Harris were in charge right now. Go grade the House GOP on the YouTube live chat poll. Wiggins America, when we come back, he's got the Monday roundup on a Tuesday, which is good because you probably missed some things this weekend while you were barbecuing, swimming in the pool in the 65-degree weather, and thanking God in heaven for the people who gave everything for that First Amendment and the rest of them, freedoms that were given to us by God. Let's get to Wiggins America next.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
The Dittamore Group, you can find them online at thedittamorgroup.com. Buying and selling real estate. You need experts. You need people who know what they're doing, who are very good at what they're doing, who are honest brokers. And those people, they're at the Dittamore Group, the number one team in the number one office in the Metro East. The Dittamore Group of RE/MAX Alliance is going to help you. They're going to advise you. They're going to laugh with you. They're going to make that real estate transaction so fun compared to all the stress that generally goes along with this. You're going to miss them when you don't have to work with them anymore. You can call them at 618-531-4652. As I said, the number one office in the Metro East. They know what they're doing. They work in Missouri and Illinois. When you reach out to Tammy directly at 618-531-4652, 618-531-4652, you can talk to them about listing your home. If you are just kind of considering it and you want to know an idea of what you might be able to list for, or if you know, gosh, I need to get this sold and get it sold fast. If you're looking to buy, they know what's available in the area and they know how to partner you with the community of your dreams. 618-531-4652, thedidamorgroup.com.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRADE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRADE25.
The Diamond Shop graduation sale. All watches are 20% off, even Movado. Men's jewelry is 40% off. 40% off Pirelli G and gold fashion jewelry. Everything else is 30% off. The Diamond Shop.
Hello there. We are asking you today in the YouTube live chat poll, how do you grade the House Republicans? Is it A, is it B/C, which is one option, D or F? Let us know. A lot of people commenting on this already. Love to hear what you think about the House Republicans so far. It is 12:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Now everybody, have you heard? If you're in the game.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Monday round. This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
The best imaged segment on this show.
You know what? It takes time and finesse, and I'm willing to put that into this segment.
And interest.
I mean, as long as people know that my name's associated with it, it's going to get top tiers.
There's something about all of the things that have your name in that have like its own intro for every single calendar day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got actually a music bed for this segment too.
I hate this. I hate it. I hate it.
I
Make
have
it stop.
All right, stop it. We just want people to know that we're putting in the time.
You know how awful that which side are you on? That gets in your head.
Oh, it does. It really does.
And then you're walking around, you're going, which side are you on? And you're like, God! gosh.
Every time you see Democrats singing a song at the Capitol or anything, aren't you always thinking, how do we make this into dubstep? No, because I am.
I don't have to think that thought because you do.
I just do it. It just comes natural.
What'd we miss?
Here's the top story that I chose that you missed this weekend.
I love it's the top story that I chose.
Well, there's lots of stories.
Go on.
You can choose anything. I chose this one. Democrats have been roasted over the $20 million plot to win over young male voters. Critics are...
There's got to be a keyword in there somewhere. A poll-tested word that they can start saying, and young men will just be like, we like you now. Because they're that stupid.
That's the goal. Critics are slamming Democrats for a, quote, inauthentic $20 million plan to win over young men under 30 years old. They're spending $20 million to do it, and the best quote that's come from this is that they need to, quote, study the syntax used by young men to win their votes.
Where do I donate to this cause?
Exactly.
Give me a link, and you got $20 from me coming your way.
This is really funny because now they're focused on young males, but they do this with
This
every
is the same party
group.
that was like, we need a masculine Midwesterner. Where's Tim Walz?
Exactly.
We wanted Tim Balls, and we got Tim Walz.
Exactly.
Makes no sense.
But they do this with every group. They go, you know what? Our policies are not the problem.
Mm-mm.
Our problem is we're not saying it right. We're not getting the message about the policies to young male voters right. So we got to spend $20 million to study the syntax of how young men talk and talk like them.
Heard the word syntax since my senior year honors English class with, ironically, Mrs. Fry. No longer with us. Rest her soul. She was a wonderful lady. But like talking about syntax, you want to talk about connecting with real life people who are 20? Did you say? So
under 30.
Under 30 in their 20s?
Young
men in their 20s are so stupid. They're just waiting for you to say it the right way.
But that's every group. They do that to every group. They go, well, we know what we're doing. You don't get it, though.
Yeah.
So it's our fault, really, for just not messaging.
Let's have a fundraiser.
This is the best news of the day. That's why I led with it, because they're losing young men.
The top story that I chose.
Exactly. All right, next one is that if you're not sure whether you're hot, you can ask ChatGPT.
And this is like attractive or temperature?
Attractive. I don't know if it's going to know your temperature.
Have you asked?
I have not. But it's a big online trend right now.
Can I ask Grok if you're attractive?
Yeah, I think Grok would be a little more friendly to me than ChatGPT.
I'm gonna do it right now.
But do you believe that there's anything to this? Because people are taking the advice and running with it and really changing their appearance in whatever way they can based on the advice. And I think there actually is something to this because they've all, we've seen the last probably decade or so them do the studies on people, why they find somebody attractive versus if they don't. And a lot of it has to do with facial symmetry. So that's the kind of thing that ChatGPT could see. But I don't know how you alter that either. Are you doing it right now?
Alter your facial symmetry.
I'm trying to find that picture of you that I put on my kids' heads to celebrate their accomplishments. Hey, it's a picture you sent me. So.
The best pictures I ever sent you were we're doing a new open for the show, like the standard open, and you said, "Can you guys send me like a press photo?"
It was you in front of a Christmas tree or something.
I know. I sent you just a bunch of selfies of me looking into the camera about as weirdly as I could, and you were like, "None of these pictures are not usable."
Were you surprised?
No, but that was the whole point. Is
like,
that
that's the goal.
I actually had none of these typed before you even sent me the photos. Go on.
If you ever ask me for a photo, just know that you're gonna have to wade through about 10 or 12 of those before you get a real one. Speaking of looking good, Common Daily Vitamin is now said to slow biological aging, and it is very accessible. It's just vitamin D, you guys.
Yeah. D3 complex.
Vitamin D might be doing more than just support bone health. It could help the body age slower.
Cool.
When you hear these kinds of studies, both of you, do you immediately go, "Oh, I'm going to look into that"? Are you like skeptical of everything? Or where do you fall on these?
I don't think that it's weird to look at vitamin D and be like, that could be good for you.
Yeah, that's kind of where I fell on this one too.
Yeah.
It's like this one isn't.
I went to Infinite Vitality. I'm going to be talking to you a lot more about that new partner on the show and my vitamin. They basically said if in the Midwest, you get 6 months worth of good vitamin D intake and 6 months of bad because of the way the weather is and your ability to be out and be in the sun and get it naturally. So D3 complex for me.
I take D like crazy.
I do. I take vitamin D every day.
I'm always low on D. I get the vitamin panel once a year, and they're always like, you're low on D. So I just keep pumping D. And I'm like, am I doing anything here? Every year it's the same thing. Pumping D. That sounds kind of gross.
Oh, my God.
Final boarding call for free bags at Southwest as the airline abandons this cherished perk. Although, if you booked before, I think tomorrow, any flight booked before tomorrow, as I understand it, still gets the perk.
As I understand it. Do you even know what the news is? Or are you just talking? Is this rumors?
Well, this story doesn't specifically say that, but I've researched this enough to say I'm pretty sure that if you book before tomorrow, the
what
28th,
we're saying is trust but verify. Basically, this whole segment, can you rebrand this to be like ish? News-ish.
Yeah. We probably could do that.
Thank you.
Although that would take a lot of work on the imaging side.
Yeah, I know. But it's for your segment,
sure
so
I'm up for it.
I'm hopeful.
I don't know. People who want to get 2 free checked bags will have to book by tomorrow for any flight. After that, you're paying for them, and they start at $35 per checked bag. They start at $35 per checked bag. So there you go. And you said we got a minute, so I'll just say real quick, the Texas bill to require the 10 Commandments in public schools is moving toward the governor's desk, and Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign the bill. There's a lot to this bill, but that's the gist of it, is that the 10 Commandments will be in public schools in Texas and already are in Louisiana.
Stick around in the 2 o'clock hour. We are going to talk about Emmanuel Macron and Bill Belichick and get the answer from Grok as to whether or not Ryan Wiggins is attractive. Kush Desai with the White House and Representative Eric Burlison next.
Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means a $100,000 savings account today could feel like $50,000 by 2031. And you see it every time you fill up your tank, buy groceries, or pay the bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. But there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold, an asset that holds its value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect your savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers. Just honest guidance, one-on-one support, and transparent pricing. And right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will send you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar as a thank you. Head to noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
TheDiamondShop.net. Make sure you reach out to TheDiamondShop.net to become a VIP before you make your way into their beautiful, sparkly Clayton shop. They've been in St. Louis since 1910. This family-owned and operated business understands you. They understand the St. Louis customer. They understand the husband that's coming in to get something for their anniversary. Got summer anniversaries coming up. A lot of people getting married in the June and July months, and they know that you're looking to celebrate something, and they're ready to help you. It doesn't matter what your budget is. They want to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel heard. They want to make sure that you walk away with something that you are just bursting at the seams excited to give her. The Diamond Shop has a long, storied history of making sure that their clients are at the center of what they do, and they love working with you. So if you're in the market for jewelry, you want to save, they have great savings right now before May wraps up. Just find out what you need to do online at thediamondshop.net. Become a VIP and save extra. Thediamondshop.net.
If you worry your roof may be damaged from the recent storms, don't trust just anyone. Call my friend Curtis at Corel Roofing for all your repairs. Mark Cox here. Watch out for those out-of-town storm chasers. They hire anybody they can pull together quickly. Corel Roofing is local, and they have crews with over 20 years of experience in the business. They don't overcommit. When other roofing companies do that, quality suffers and customer service drops off. They pay a lot of attention to details. They use quality materials, and you can trust their workmanship. I'm trusting Curtis Corel to fix my roof. You can trust him as well. They also specialize in all the luxury line roofing. slate, architectural shingles, metal roofs, and other luxury shingles. He's done work for a friend of mine, and it's outstanding. You can call him at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529, or on Facebook at Corel Roofing.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A new hurdle for Harvard. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Trump administration has already frozen billions of dollars in grants and contracts with Harvard University and is now urging federal agencies to cut remaining financial ties with the school. In a letter signed by Josh Gruenbaum of the U.S. General Services Administration, he also helps lead a task force on anti-Semitism.
Gruenbaum arguing the Ivy League institution continues to engage in race discrimination, noting Harvard's inaction in the face of repeated harassment of students. Gruenbaum also points to the rewards that several student protesters received, even after facing charges linked to the disturbing assault of a Jewish student on campus. One protester, chosen by the Divinity School to be class marshal, another awarded a $65,000 fellowship.
Fox's Molly Line in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Today, the first of two court hearings as Harvard fights the administration's effort to stop it from enrolling international students. A federal judge who blocked that move is weighing whether to leave an injunction in place as the case proceeds. The U.S. Supreme Court will not hear a case involving a student's transgender criticism.
Liam Morrison and his family argued his Massachusetts middle school violated his free speech after he was banned for wearing a T-shirt saying, quote, "There are only two genders," and another saying, "There are censored genders" on the front. The Supreme Court declining to hear the case, despite Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito arguing the court should hear it. Nichols Middle School argued the shirt made his classmates feel unsafe and was demeaning, with a lower court ruling in the district's favor.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. The CDC is removing COVID booster shots from the schedule of vaccines for most children, just ahead of an advisory panel's meeting to make recommendations about fall vaccines. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says COVID shots will no longer be recommended for healthy children and pregnant women. America is listening to Fox News.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperature's pretty easy to take going through our Tuesday afternoon. We should top out close to 70, but still partly to mostly cloudy skies. Still a chance of a scattered shower, but again, expect a lot of dry time. Any scattered showers quickly fade this evening, but clouds dominate 58. A couple of nice days after that. Wednesday, partly sunny 74. Do it again Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Infinite Vitality. Folks, I am so excited to be partnering with them, but more specifically, personally, being a client of Infinite Vitality. So, ladies, I'm going to talk to you specifically, but men, a lot of the things I'm going to say here real quick, these are applicable to you. You're in your 40s. I'm 41, and I've had 4 kids. Having 4 children, it does a number on your body. You get to be in your 40s, and everything starts to slow down a little bit. I'm working out in the gym. I'm not seeing the results the way I did when I was in my 20s and even in my 30s. If you have a kind of sluggishness about your day, if you have difficulty losing weight, you feel fatigued, you maybe just are so tired all of the time and you're like, why? I'm trying to do everything I can right and it's just not materializing the way that it used to. That's not like new life at 40. That's not the way it has to be. Get your Infinite Vitality at Infinite Vitality. If you mention Annie, you're going to get a $50 credit towards hormone replacement therapy, which I am in the process of doing myself. You can also get weight loss services, $50 credit when you mention my name. 618-486-1888. Call 618-486-1888 and connect with Infinite Vitality. Just go ask questions. You'll be so glad you did. Infinite-vitality.com.
This is JT the Mulch Man, here to save your yard this spring. Don't let your flower beds suffer from boring mulch or low-quality compost. Hansen's has premium mulch and compost to keep your plants thriving. Trust me, I'm the Mulch Man. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Yow! Hey guys, it's Mark Bearden. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The modern medical establishment really has been disconnected. We've been so busy focusing on treatment, on billing and coding in a high-throughput model. We've got to stop and ask ourselves, should we be focusing more on school lunch programs, not just putting every kid on Ozempic? We've got to talk about food as medicine and gut health and the microbiome. We've got to talk about environmental toxins that cause cancer, not just the chemo to treat it.
There's Dr. McCary talking about the focus that this administration has and has been charged with truly by the voters to pay attention to making America healthy again. A lot of us have heard MAHA, and it's a very interesting meeting of the minds. And I truly think one of the main reasons why Donald Trump was able to win with the magnitude of support that he was, because the MAHA movement became part of the MAGA movement. And we're seeing the Trump administration actually deliver on some of these things that they promised that they would address just 4 months into the presidency so far. And there's a lot of news to discuss and to comb through. Last week, we had the report that came out that we saw from Secretary Kennedy, and we wanted to give the White House an opportunity to talk about the progress that they're making and ask them a few of those questions. Let's welcome Kush Desai onto the Annie Fry Show, Deputy White House Press Secretary. Kush, thank you for being here with us today. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Give us your thoughts so far on how is the White House feeling about their follow through on their commitment to making America healthy again?
We feel great about it. Look, I mean, the MAHA Commission report that came out last week was the first intergovernmental assessment, really, of the evidence that we have, the scientific research and the facts that we have about what's driving our chronic disease epidemic among our nation's children. And so this was the first time the government comprehensively reviewed and assessed what we know and what we don't know about what's driving this crisis. And so this is a major milestone and a major first step for us to start kind of informing our policymaking to be guided not by corporate interest or ideological activism, but by the gold standard of science.
I think that of all of the things that Donald Trump's administration came in saying that they were going to address, there's such a unique and interesting amount of support for the MAHA movement because it kind of transcends typical partisan divides among American voters. Secretary Robert Kennedy has led this movement. He's not a Republican dyed-in-the-wool. He's a Kennedy, for heaven's sake. And he has identified coming into this administration that he sat down with President Trump and they saw an opportunity to make progress, and those politics could get set aside on other places that they disagree. Has that relationship continued to grow up until this point in the administration and their ability to help each other see success?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I think President Trump has, for the better part of a decade now, talked about making America great again. And that really is a very holistic vision. It's not just about bringing jobs back and manufacturing back, but it's about, making America healthy again. That's a key pillar of his movement here. And so, yes, I mean, Secretary Kennedy is a critical member of this administration. He's a great ally and trusted partner of the president. And you kind of saw that with the follow through on this Mueller report. And you'll see that in the follow through in about 80 days or so when the commission submits their policy recommendations based on that report to the president. So this is a major initiative, major priority for the entire administration, not just the White House or HHS.
Fox News has a report right now, and it says that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer recommended for healthy children or pregnant women. According to new guidance from health officials, Secretary Kennedy shared a video today on X announcing that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has removed the vaccines from the CDC's recommended immunization schedule for those groups. Kush Desai is joining us right now, the Deputy White House Press Secretary. Kush, when there was a time on this show where if we even said the word COVID vaccine, we got, strikes on YouTube. We couldn't even discuss it. We weren't even permitted to have a conversation about whether or not we felt it was safe. And now we see the cabinet's reaction to this vaccine, and it is suggesting that maybe it isn't safe for some people. How far have we come, A, on our ability to talk about this, and B, actually truly questioning the COVID-19 vaccine and its efficacy for Americans who might need to take it?
Absolutely. Look, the Mueller Commission report actually talked about how there's been a decline in sort of academic and scientific freedom in this country to kind of ask the questions that we're supposed to ask. I mean, remember, the guiding principle of science is skepticism, where you're supposed to constantly be asking questions, constantly challenge your assumptions. And, in the last few years, we saw the exact opposite of that, where, as you mentioned, everyday Americans, the media, members of the media who are a little more honest or skeptical than others were outright censored or scrutinized for just asking simple questions that everyday Americans should be asking. And so what we saw here with this decision today to remove the COVID vaccine recommendation for healthy children and healthy pregnant women shows that, once again, we're not letting ideological activism or corporate interests guide our health policy making, but the gold standard of science. And the science says that, healthy children and healthy pregnant women, don't need to continue taking these COVID booster shots. And so I think this is a positive move for the American people. I think everyday people should look at this and think, okay, once again, we have sanity and common sense making decisions here in Washington, D.C.
Kush Desai speaking with us right now, the Deputy White House Press Secretary. We're grateful to have the White House's perspective here on the show today. I think a lot of people, I see this a lot in the commentary, the live commentary coming along with our conversation right here, right now, suggesting that these COVID-19 shots don't need to be taken by healthy children, don't need to be taken by pregnant women. That kind of suggests that maybe there's a higher risk implicated for those particular groups to take it. A lot of people want to know the drive behind the implementation, the force feeding of this shot over the last 5 years. Is the Trump administration actively looking into and looking to expose any sort of improper relationships that might have existed in forcing this vaccine on the American people?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you look at some of the recent actions that have been taken across the FDA and the CDC with a huge degree of scrutiny on possible conflicts of interest with a lot of these advisory boards that the FDA and CDC had, that brought in a lot of undue corporate and industry influence in our policymaking. And so, again, the focus here is on using the gold standard of science. What does the science say? What does the evidence, what does the research actually say makes sense? What works, what doesn't work, based on the actual evidence, not based on what ideological activism says, not based on what the politics say, what actually works and what doesn't work. And so that's the guiding principle of everything that's happening at HHS, across the FDA, across the CDC, across the NIH. And I think, Americans are going to continue to see a level of transparency that we haven't seen really in years out of the federal government, certainly not as it relates to public health.
it's so important to observe and to acknowledge that we haven't been pursuing health recommendations for the American people just based on science. And that when we were force-fed, the phrase, we kind of laugh about it from time to time on this show. Anytime they say the science, you're in trouble. We just need science. We just need factual pursuit, questions that need to be asked so that honest answers can be provided. And I think the American people are very skeptical about a lot of what has taken place in the last 5 years. And seeing Secretary Kennedy come in and lead on the MAHA movement has been refreshing for people. There are also a lot of discussions around what's in our food, chemicals that are used. And also, I think a lot of people are wanting to know more. Okay, chemicals in our food are bad, and they exist everywhere. Dyes exist everywhere here in America, and a lot of times don't in Europe. I think people are wanting more direct connection or evidence of direct connection of, okay, these chemicals exist. How are they manifesting themselves in our lives, in our health? Is the health HHS going to work on making all of that information more accessible to the American people?
Absolutely. I think that the chemicals in the food supply is definitely a huge priority for HHS. And we've already seen how the FDA phased out the use of several artificial petroleum-based food dyes in our nation's food supply. And that's particularly that's particularly relevant for children, because a lot of our children's food, these cereals and other processed foods often have a lot of these artificial food dyes that are being phased out now. And to kind of follow up on that, the FDA also approved the use of new natural dyes that are healthier, that are less risky. So I think across the board here, we're taking we're opening up the hood of the car and we're taking a look at what's happening here and what's not. I think another great example of this is what we're calling Operation Stork Speed. I think everyday parents, when they have an infant baby and you're buying baby formula and you look at the ingredients on that label, most people have no idea what the heck half of these things are, and that's what you're feeding to your 4 or 5 month old baby. And so the FDA is taking a critical look at the baby formula ingredients, and that's the first time such a review has been done since 1998. Think about that. It's been almost 30 years since our government has taken a serious look at what we're feeding babies. So this is the sort of thing where across the board here, we're taking a look, and you're talking a lot about the COVID shots, for instance. No, we're requiring, there to be proper clinical trials of a lot of these booster shots. You're not allowed to use the old clinical data you submitted for a completely different booster shot before. You now have to submit new clinical data, to conduct new experiments to make sure that what you're selling is actually safe and reliable for the American people. So across the board here, whether it be our food, whether it be our drugs, whether it be vaccines, we are taking a strong look and looking to, I guess, make sure things actually work as they're supposed to and are safe for everyday people.
Gosh, I'm hearing you say that since 1998. Kush, I have 4 kids. My oldest is 15. My youngest is 3. I breastfed the first 3 of them, couldn't manage the time for the 4th. So Molly, my youngest, was all formula-based, but they all took formula in at some time. These things have, if you're inputting something into a child's body in their highest development years, the lifelong problems that could come from that maybe we just treat with some medication down the line. I think Americans are going to be very surprised to find some of the factual science-based information that comes from the studies that the Trump administration is looking to put out for the American consumption. Last question I have for you, and we appreciate you being with us. We're speaking with Kush Desai, Deputy White House Press Secretary. The implementations of replacing the food dyes, the bad food dyes, the restricting chemicals that can be put into our food, things like the baby formula. Realistically, how quickly does the Trump administration and Secretary Kennedy believe that we can actually take these new regulations, put them in place, and baby formula we feel is safe for our babies?
Look, I don't have a hard timeline here, but I think the intention here is to get this done as soon as possible. And the reason why it needs to be done ASAP is because a lot of these things should have been done years, if not decades ago. We're now at a point where, for a lot of children, around 70% of their caloric intake is coming from ultra-processed foods. So the level of urgency here is at a fever pitch. And so I think we're working around the clock here to, again, focus the science, direct the NIH and the CDC and the FDA to do the work necessary. And so I think we're we're working with the industry partners. I know, for instance, Operation Stork Speed. I mean, that announcement was preceded by Secretary Kennedy meeting with the CEOs of these baby formula companies to make sure that this is going to happen in a way that makes sense and that won't lead to another baby formula shortage, for instance. And so we're doing this in a way where we can where the American people won't be left out in the lurch and there won't be shortages or anything like that. So it's happening the fastest but most realistic and most efficient way possible.
Well, Kush, Desai, thank you for your time today. We appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and commend the administration for keeping this focus and not setting aside. I know a lot of the people who supported the president in the election did so on the behalf of the Maha movement, and it's been great to see actual action on that here well within the first 6 months of the new administration. Thanks for being with us today. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We'll talk to you again soon. Kush Desai, Deputy White House Press Secretary on X at Kush Desai 47. Good to talk to him there. I want to see all this stuff materialize. I hope for I just think about, as somebody, I was born in 1984, and I think my entire life has been processed foods. I don't know. I remember my grandmother cooking and how she would cook. The way she would cook, first of all, it was delicious. And second of all, there was just a wholesomeness to the way that they would cook using, I mean, you remember when grandma would use like lard or like real butter, and it was just kind of a special treat because whatever we were eating in our house was probably something that was billed as healthier. It was probably billed as, lower fat and all of this stuff, but it turns out it was lower fat. I guess they replaced the fat with chemicals to make it have less fat. And then at the end, it might be what has made us fat the whole time. Isn't that crazy? I always tell my kids, the closest you can get to eating foods from the way God made them and God intended them, that's the healthiest way to eat food. And then it turns out even the food that grows out of the ground might be treated with chemicals, and that might be hurting you too. It's like, how do you win? How do you win in this game? Or is the game set up to make sure that you lose? That's the part that's the scariest. All right, when we come back, Representative Eric Burlison, Missouri's 7th District congressional representative, is going to come join us. I'm asking you on the Annie Frey YouTube channel on our live broadcast, our live chat poll, how do you grade the House Republicans? A, B/C, D, or F? Give them a grade. And I'm going to ask the congressman when he's on with us next, what grade does he give the House GOP, of which he is a member? We'll find out when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Frey Show.
PointPestControl.com. That's point with an E. PointPestControl.com. I want to make sure that you're not suffering a plague of mosquitoes at your home when you're trying to enjoy your barbecues. You're trying to be outside, just sit on your porch. Are you getting eaten up by mosquitoes? You don't have to be. Point Pest Control can help you with that dilemma. I encourage you to call 636-798-0023. That's 636-798-0023, and enjoy that outside space in this beautiful season that we have. Spring is often a wonderful time to go outside and to enjoy the beautiful weather. But if mosquitoes have you staying inside, you need to do something about that. And mention Annie when you call 636-798-0023, because you're going to save 10% on the top of whatever sales they have going on right then. You mention Annie, and you're going to save extra. I pay for the quarterly service from Point Pest Control to make sure our home stays bug-free, and I encourage you to check out that process as well. But if you're experiencing a particular kind of pest, if it's spiders, if it's ants, if it's mosquitoes, even termites, Point Pest Control is going to be the phone call you want to make. 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. To see someone that is in pain, I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511 800-571-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Andersen has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. rbastl.com or 314-332-1924.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And when do you expect these subpoenas to go out?
Well, the letters have already gone out to the staffers as well as Dr. O'Connor. So if we don't hear anything from them in a week, then I would expect to start seeing subpoenas.
And if they fight the subpoena, what do you do?
We'll go to court. Jesse, they're going to try to plead executive privilege, and they're lawyering up, and we're ready. That's why we're making sure every I's dotted and every T's crossed. The best thing that's happened in the last week with respect to this is all the new books that are coming out and all the former Biden staffers who are trying to cover their tracks. You're going to see people like Pete Buttigieg who think they have political futures come forward and say, we didn't know anything. There were gatekeepers. They wouldn't let us speak with Joe Biden. And the more that comes out, the easier it's going to be to get to the truth. truth.
So, okay, we're looking into the auto pen question. A lot of people have a lot of questions about it, and the House Oversight Committee is going to look into it. You were listening to the Oversight Chair, Representative James Comer there. Let's talk to another member of the Oversight Committee. Missouri's 7th Congressional District Representative Eric Burlison is on with us. Congressman, thank you for being with us here today. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Great to be back, Annie.
So I'm just going to let you have the open floor to react to the efforts of the Oversight Committee here. What are they looking to uncover?
Yeah, I think that the more that we learn about this, and especially now you've got lefty, reporters writing books about all this cover up. I think this may be one of the greatest scandals, at least of our generation, if not more. I mean, you have what's evidently a sitting president of the United States that was obviously not making the decisions. There, from what I can tell, is a group of 5 people that were kind of the gatekeepers. And what's really impactful, what I think we need to get down to the bottom of is how did these individuals determine who got pardons, for example, at the end?
Yeah.
From what there's people that are kind of leaking that there was money being paid, payouts to these individuals who just happened to have the decision making as who got a pardon, because Joe Biden didn't know. He clearly wasn't paying attention to what was going on.
That's a lot to take in. Representative Eric Burlison with us. I think it's the focus that I have on this, it doesn't seem like it's as much, or at least not exclusively or only, an investigation into Joe Biden. It's a lot more of an investigation into what was going on around Joe Biden. Who knew what? When did they know it? And how were they involved in it? I mean, are you looking specifically into Joe Biden and his particular actions, or does this involve a lot of people?
Yeah, I think that we need to determine the people that are in his nexus and to see if they violated any federal laws. At the end of the day, I think the American people deserve to know who was making these decisions, who was signing these executive orders, or determining what the executive order was. You look at his administration, it seemed like absolute chaos. And it almost seemed like there were times where you thought, does Joe Biden even really care about this country? With what he was doing to the border, with what was happening with foreign policies with Ukraine and all these other countries going to war. It was very, very confusing. And to some extent, I think that, I think his family, and I think we were able to demonstrate that his family was on the take. I mean, he was making major policy decisions, especially as the vice president, based on who was doing business with his son and with his brother. So now that he's no longer the president, and now that there's people that were adjacent to him that don't have any benefit of continuing to defend him, I think that you're going to see a lot of people come forward and admit wrongdoing of that administration.
We're speaking with Congressman Eric Burlison, who is a member of the House Oversight Committee, the Freedom Caucus as well, and the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I have so many questions to ask you, so I'm trying to pare them down for the best options here. We ask this question of our audience. We do a poll every day. And, it's kind of a broad statement, and your initial reaction might not be the same as thinking about it a little bit. But I'm wondering if it's possible in your investigation into what took place during the Biden administration, if there was ever a time where Joe Biden became a victim, if people took advantage of him, if he was not cognizant of what was going on around him because of his mental state. Is it possible that he became kind of a victim of the system that he was born out of?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, yeah. And you see this happen with families. Unfortunately, there are families that take advantage of their elderly family members and the money that's coming in from Social Security and other avenues, and they control the purse and they control the decisions. I think that as we look into this, we'll determine to what extent Joe Biden was aware. I don't think he was very aware, but we'll determine that and to see to what extent did people take advantage of him and thusly took advantage of the United States.
Congressman Eric Burlison speaking with us right now. You talked about people coming to testify and to open up and to kind of spill the beans on what was actually taking place. Do you expect whistleblowers to come out, some people who might have been very personally connected with what was actually taking place and wanting to put themselves in a position where maybe they are offered some protections?
Yeah, I do think that you're going to have people that were part of that inner circle that are going to be looking for cover. They're going to be looking for ways to get out from underneath the heavy hand that's coming down on them. And I would expect that we're going to get if I know Jamie Comer, I'll say this. If I know Jamie, he's probably already got a whistleblower or two waiting in the wings, because that's how the chairman operates. He collects a lot of information, a lot of data, and he doesn't go public until he's got enough to work with. And so I think that when Chairman Comer is talking, there's generally some evidence that goes with it.
I'm looking up right now. Is he a lawyer by trade?
He's not.
That sounds like a lawyer thing to do.
He's a farmer, and I think his family is involved in banking and small business in Kentucky. But I think he has large scale properties.
Well, so you're expecting Comer to have had this handled, to know what he's got before the American public knows what he's got. That's probably absolutely the right way to go about it. We're watching and we're waiting to find out what truths actually do come out from this. But it sounds like, from what I've talked with you, what I've talked with some other guests that we've had on the show, that the capacity of Joe Biden while he was the president was alarmingly diminished. But there were also questions about his health when he was running to be the president of the United States. That it didn't dawn on people in 2021 or 2022 like, oh my gosh, this is getting bad, that people would have known. Do you believe, Congressman, that there was a cover-up during the campaign and an understanding that upon Joe Biden's election, that this would be a presidency by committee?
Yeah, I think that they were clearly protecting him from the moment that he was the candidate, that he was the nominee. And I think COVID gave him the excuse of hiding in the bunker. We probably would have had some of those debate moments had he come out and been more public. So I think that they definitely were hiding it from the American people. They were trying to protect him. And I think that there's some that may have not known the full extent of his decline and just kind of said, yeah, sure, he's slowing down. But I think the left were so hell-bent to stop Donald Trump that they were willing to, put a mentally, someone who's having cognitive problems in the White House, which is very disturbing. But, I remember there was times when the speaker, both McCarthy and Johnson, had come back from meetings with the White House and spoken to the president. And, for example, Johnson tells a story, and he's told it publicly, that he went to go meet with the president. He asked him specifically about an executive order, and Joe Biden said, I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, Mr. President, you signed it last week. You signed this executive order. And Joe Biden adamantly denied that he did. He didn't know anything about what the speaker was talking about. So, hearing those firsthand reports, especially now that we know more and more, it seems like he was being taken advantage of.
Congressman Burlison.
But I will say this, Annie, if I can.
Sure.
I've seen enough about the Biden family that I don't, I hate for anybody to go through physically what he's going through. But the truth is, there's a lot of people in the federal medical prison down the road that have done less and have been less fraudsters and schemed, against less people than the Bidens have.
Right.
And so the truth is, yes, it's awful what he's going through, but the truth is and he's never going to serve time, but he probably should have served time in jail for everything that he did and the money that he laundered from all these foreign countries to his family.
Well, Congressman, I'd like to have you back on as this investigation progresses, because I have a million more questions that I want to ask you about it. And as it develops, we want to get you back here to update the people of Missouri and, of course, our friends here in Illinois about what your experience is on the House Oversight Committee. But before I let you go, I do want to ask you about the big, beautiful bill that my understanding is it got your vote last week, passed by one vote to move out of the House of Representatives. We're asking in our poll today of our audience, how do you grade the House Republicans? And with that bill passing, Donald Trump wanted it to pass. I know that you've advocated as a Freedom Caucus member, certainly for cuts to actually be fiscally responsible here. How do you grade the House Republicans?
I would give us a C minus, if not a D plus. If you'd asked me before that, I'd say maybe an F or D. I think that the truth is, while the bill may, the best way I can explain the bill is that we're 37 points down in a baseball game, and we just bunted to get on first, and we're applauding it. So the truth is, we have a long ways to go. But you could put yourself in my shoes. If that's the only thing that you can take, you'll take it at this time. But it doesn't mean that we don't continue the fight. And I think your audience and you know that I will continue to have my head down and to try to get more and more spending cuts in place to save this country.
Yeah, people know that about you. You've made that very clear. We talked about sad Elon Musk. He seems to be kind of down in the dumps. Like, this is the best we can do, that we're not going to be able to cut our way out of this fiscal irresponsibility. Decades and decades of fiscal irresponsibility is now all put upon your congressional class right now. Is there an expectation that in future years here, at least while Donald Trump is still the president, hopefully the Republicans maintain the majority, will they go deeper in those cuts?
Yeah, I think that there's a chance, especially even this year, there's a chance that we can get some rescissions done. There's a window of opportunity where they can do rescissions within the 45 days, and Congress doesn't have the opportunity to act, and they become permanent. So, from what some of the discussions that we had during this continuing resolution vote, that was the contingency upon getting a lot of conservatives to vote for it, was a commitment to a certain level of rescission cuts in that 45-day window. So I think that we have that in play. But I also think that, look, this bond market, the reality is reality. It's almost like a law of gravity. You can't, at some point, your debt, the cost of debt becomes so high that you can't take on any more debt. I think that's what it's going to take to force some of my colleagues to understand that we have to cut spending.
Do you believe that President Trump's efforts to grow the economy, with his investments in the country, of course, the tariff implementation, he's making a lot of promises. He has a lot of anticipation for it. Could the growth of the American economy help with the lack of cuts, or do you not see that meeting in the middle?
At some point, you can't cut your way there. You're going to have to grow, but you also have to cut. So cutting spending, for example, will cause a lot of growth in the United States. Because every dime that we take out in debt, we're going and we're competing against people that are trying to get a mortgage or businesses that are trying to get a loan. We're the ones buying all the debt. And as a result, the interest rates, even though the Fed might be lowering interest rates, the rates are not going down because we're out there buying and artificially increasing the demand. So we have to cut spending, but I do think when we do, we may not have to cut it all the way in order to balance. I think cutting a significant level of spending will do many things. It will reduce interest rates, and it will bring inflation down, because when the federal government stops spending and interest rates go down, inflation will go down.
Do you believe in Trump's vision?
I do. I think that he wants to grow our way out of this, and I think that his vision of cutting income taxes, moving to a tariff, is an interesting and new concept, and one that I think, in theory, could pan out to be much better than the current status quo, where we have high income taxes and we're basically punishing productivity and instead of punishing consumption. So I think, as somebody who's a fair taxer, I kind of like Trump's policies in that regard.
Congressman Eric Burlison, we're very grateful for your time, and you know it's very valuable. Thank you for joining us to discuss these important issues, and please come back again soon to give us updates, especially on that House Oversight Committee investigation into what really was going on during the Biden presidency. We're grateful for your time today.
Thank you, Annie. Anytime.
Sounds good. We'll call you on that. Congressman Eric Burlison, representing Missouri's 7th Congressional District, he gives the House GOP, of which he is a member, he said a C-, maybe a D, before this would have been an F. So no delusions of grandeur there from Congressman Burlison. We'll like to compare his notes to yours on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. So join us. You go to youtube.com/@AnnieFrey or just open the YouTube app on your phone. You find our live broadcast right there in the comments section. That's where the YouTube live chat poll is. And you can grade the House Republicans. Might feel really good to click that F. Might feel really good to click that A or something in between. It's up to you. But if you want your voice heard, go vote there right now. Let's get Ryan Wiggins back in studio. When we come back, don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
aircomfortservice.com/storm. That's the address I need you to check right now. If you have any storm damage from those nasty tornadoes and crazy winds that took place, hail damage that was coming across our region last week, you need to make sure that your AC unit outside your home is in good working order. It's not something that really, without talking to Air Comfort Service about it, that I had really considered about. You think, okay, traditionally you think about your roof. You want to make sure that your cars were inside or covered when it comes to hail. But what about that AC unit that is outside? Because if something happened to it and you don't have it checked or inspected by experts, via the ones at Air Comfort Service, if it stops running the way it's supposed to efficiently, you might be missing out on an insurance claim. So call Air Comfort Service or visit them online at aircomfortservice.com/storm to have somebody out to inspect it today to make sure that you are doing the things you need to do to file that insurance claim. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Make sure you get your AC looked at immediately for an insurance claim and make sure that lingering issues don't follow you into this summer. aircomfortservice.com/storm.
Start your summer with a weekend showdown. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Busch Stadium June 6th through the 8th. Be there Friday for a cool new promo, the first ever Cardinals neck fan, perfect for hot game days. Then on Sunday, young fans 15 and under take home a Rawlings Kids Glove. It's a weekend of big matchups and big giveaways. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Mason Wynn, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Hey parents, looking for something fun and unforgettable to do with the kids? Bring the whole family to a Cardinals game at Busch Stadium. From kid-friendly activities and giveaways to awesome promotions like Kids Run the Bases. Your little ones will have a blast, and so will you. Check out Family Sundays, presented by Smithfield, where select tickets include a free jumbo hot dog and soda. There's nothing like sharing the magic of Cardinals baseball together. Make your memories this summer at Busch Stadium. Tickets are available at cardinals.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at biobalancehealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. biobalancehealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
The YouTube live chat poll today is: how do you grade the House Republicans? Are you with Eric Burlison in a C or D? Or are you an A? Are you an F? Anywhere in between. We got all the options there, A, B, C, D, F. Let us know which one you are. How do you grade the House Republicans in the YouTube live chat poll? It is 148. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
On Time News. On your time. Your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
It's hard to interrupt this bass line.
Then don't.
Steve's back from vacation.
Oh.
Our boss is here.
We should talk.
We got to talk.
Let's talk about the bass line. This is a good song.
Oh gosh.
We just get the instrumental and play it underneath the segment the whole time.
Who's the woman who sang the Barbie song?
Aqua?
Not Aqua. No, the big song for the one that. God dang it, I'm dumb. I can't think of words today. If you're experiencing brain fog, go to infinite-vitality.com. That one's on me.
Which song from the Barbie movie
The
are you
one
referring
that
to?
the hot guy dances to.
Oh, gosh, I don't remember. I did see
like
the
you
movie.
don't know.
I did see
Don't
the
act
movie.
like
You said the hot guy, and he knew exactly what part you were
I
talking
do know
about.
which part you're talking about, but I don't remember the song.
The guy from The Notebook.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
The hot guy.
You knew.
It's Ken.
Yeah, that's right.
He plays Ken.
Anyway, that female artist, I think, sings that "Think I'm in Love with You" song live. And I was just telling the guys here off air that when I listen to Sirius, they have a Chris Stapleton channel, and I am in a relationship with that channel with my husband. It's fantastic. There's a Chris Stapleton channel, there's a John Mayer channel, and there's a Morgan Wallen channel. All things satisfied.
It's not "I'm Just Ken," is it? That was the original song.
I'm just Ken. No.
That one won an Oscar, I think.
I have the song on the tip of my brain, but because I have to talk on the air, I can't go there for a second and figure it out.
I understand.
There are people who are listening who know what we're talking
Ethan
about.
said Dua Lipa?
Yes! I don't know, except for I don't think that's right.
But what's the name? Yeah, that's it. That's not it,
Dua
though.
Lipa is the one who sings that song. And, okay, Vicky says Dua Lipa sings that song live with him. So, yes, that is correct. I love her voice. I love all of her songs. I don't know anything else about her.
I don't even
obviously.
know enough to tell you whether I like Dua Lipa or not. I know the name. That's it.
Did you have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, it was great.
What'd you do?
I forgot. We were talking about Memorial Day traditions on Friday.
You forgot you had a tradition?
I forgot that I had a tradition that we do every year for the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm like, oh, yeah, why didn't I say that? We go watch the Collinsville fireworks that they do every year now
Where?
on Memorial Day in like Eastport Plaza near Ravenelli's and all the hotels down there, Drury Inn.
Why is it called Port?
I have no idea. It's landlocked.
Well, I mean, it could be an airport.
It's not that, though,
But
either.
it isn't. There's a lot of businesses down there.
There are a lot. Yeah, it's a lot
Shipping
of travel goes through there. But they do an awesome fireworks display every year, and we, as a family, all go watch it. Sometimes we go to they have like a festival down there too. It's always on the day before Memorial Day, so the Sunday. But we did that again, and it was great. It was just a little rainy and cold this year, but the weather could have been worse.
Dance the night away.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that song.
Yeah, I just had to Google it while you're talking.
Okay. You just wanted to get me talking.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that they had that fireworks. In
Yeah,
Collinsville.
I
Is it a
think
good show?
It's a fantastic show.
Fireworks are great.
And I think they're smart for doing it because everybody does July 4th. Well, then the cost for a city to do a July 4th presentation is super high.
Yeah.
Because that's when everybody does them. So they chose to do a Memorial Day instead.
Anything else? Is it on Memorial Day or is it the weekend?
It's the night before, which I was saying while you were Googling.
Mhm.
So that's okay. But the other thing is that...
It's for the other people who are busy during that
yeah,
time.
they didn't hear it
It's for
either.
the
You were just
people.
clarifying.
It's for the people. I'm here for the people.
Now, this is something that we have done in the past. We didn't do it this
Where
year.
was it in Collinsville?
Yeah, it's like, how do I describe Eastport Plaza? But my kids have helped. We have a neighbor who's in our church too, who goes around the Friday before Memorial Day or the Saturday, depending on the year, and puts American flags throughout the entire neighborhood along the street.
That's fun.
And it's a pretty big area. They walk the whole neighborhood and do it every year, and I'm sure today they're out there taking them down. My kids in the past have helped do that. This year, I think because we were still school and stuff, we weren't able to do it. But
Brad,
that's
what'd you
another
guys
tradition.
Actually, we did a bunch of stuff that was like getting stuff done, and I have never felt more accomplished over the course of a long weekend. I was super excited about it. So I worked on my truck.
Was it big stuff? Did you have a lot of little? Did you have something big?
Both. There was big stuff that I've been trying to do for a while, and then there was a bunch of little stuff that I was trying to get done. And so we were able to get a lot of that done, from working on trucks and tractors down to cutting the grass and changing up, the garage and all of that other stuff. So got a lot of stuff done. Then we went to church on Sunday morning.
You know what I did? I sorted clothes. Guys, to the people who have gone before me with multiple children, how did you do it without losing your mind? Like, I feel like my nightmares would be me just drowning in laundry. That sounds so super boring and off. Like, why are we talking about this? I have 4 kids. My oldest son, he's in man clothes now. He's like a men's medium large. But he will still wear his favorite shirts from when he was like 8. I'm like, you have to let that go. Let's make it a quilt. And he always says, I'll just wear it at home.
It's a belly shirt.
And I'm like, I don't want to see it. It doesn't fit you, son. But I like it. It'll be like his baseball uniform from when he was 10. And he's sentimental about it. So I kind of understand it. But I'm also like, you look like you're in pain. You need to just move on from that. We don't have to get rid of it, but it should go somewhere else, and you can't put it in the rotation. But the amount of laundry in my house, I'm to the point right now where I just went through my closet yesterday, and I just started out. If it's something that I've ever looked at and gone, I just took it out. Less is more. But I don't know how to do that with 3 girls who are all in different size clothing, and between all 3 girls, very little can come out of one closet and go into the next. It has to go in a tote. Every time we sort clothes, we buy 6 more totes. Where are all the totes going? Does anybody understand what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you deal with this?
Not as bad as you, because you got 3 girls of staggered ages. So you got to keep everything.
Does Katie deal with that stuff more than you do?
Yeah, and she does it more than I do. But we
Is she
do
happy
have
about it?
2 boys, but they go right from one boy to the next. They don't go into a tote.
No.
No, and anything from Sunny, that's just gone.
By the time I get done sorting, it's time to sort again.
Ugh.
It's the worst. And we had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend acknowledging those who sacrificed all. All right, Belichick and Macron, what do they have in common? We'll be right back.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRADE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRADE25.
Transitions in life are difficult. I, in fact, hate the thought of transitions in life. I hate endings. I want you to think about your future, and I want you to think about your plans, because if you haven't done that yet, you need to call Civia Law. If you've thought about it, but you don't really know what to do with it, or you don't know how to implement it, you need to call Todd Civia at Civia Law. If you have complicated situations in your family, if you have real estate, if you have assets and complications, you're a blended family, whatever it might be, you want to make sure that you determine the outcome, you need to call Civia Law. If you don't have anything complicated, but you do have some assets and you want to make sure that your kiddos get taken care of, you need to call Civia Law. 833-995-WILL. 833-995-WILL. The first 10 of you to take my advice right now, you get a free strategy session. The first 10 listeners to call 833-995-WILL at Civia Law get a free strategy session. CiviaLaw.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Big change for COVID shots. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The CDC is taking COVID boosters off the list of vaccines recommended for most children.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says COVID vaccines for healthy children and pregnant women are no longer recommended, removing the shots from the CDC's vaccine schedule.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
Kennedy announced the changes in a video on X, joined by the FDA commissioner and the director of the National Institutes of Health. A CDC advisory panel is set to meet next month to make recommendations about fall vaccines. Last week, the FDA announced routine COVID vaccine approvals will be limited to seniors and those with underlying health risks.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Going forward, the FDA commissioner wants clinical trials of COVID shots for healthy children and adults. Escalating tension between President Trump and Russia's leader Vladimir Putin after major aerial strikes on Ukraine over the weekend.
The president is very, very frustrated. He appears closer than ever to pulling the trigger on those harsh sanctions that he has been threatening, increasingly frustrated with Putin's continued attacks on Ukraine and also the stalled state of these peace talks. He posted on Truth Social, what Vladimir Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean really bad. He's playing with fire.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. A top Russian security official just posting he only knows of one bad thing, World War III, adding he hopes President Trump understands this. After the president announced a pause on new EU tariffs, stocks have been rallying. An hour to the close, the Dow's up 701. Just getting word, rock legend Rick Derringer has died. The guitarist and songwriter best known for Hang On Sloopy and Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo was 77. America is listening to Fox News.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperature's pretty easy to take going through our Tuesday afternoon. We should top out close to 70, but still partly to mostly cloudy skies. Still a chance of a scattered shower, but again, expect a lot of dry time. Any scattered showers quickly fade this evening, but clouds dominate, 58. A couple of nice days after that. Wednesday, partly sunny, 74. Do it again Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. You need to call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie is going to help you navigate this pretty wacky market. A lot of times mortgage rates are the leading marker for a successful economy. Feds cut this, feds cut that. But what about mortgage rates? Stewie is on the forefront of what is taking place and developing in this industry. And if you are looking to purchase a home, if you are looking to refinance your home, maybe even take cash out, you have to consider a phone call or a text message to Stewie in order to make sure that you're getting the best possible deal. The Bagel Loan, only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, means you get that mortgage and whatever low rates you would qualify for anywhere else, you can qualify for them there as well. No closing costs. Thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket, in your savings account, that you don't have to deal with at closing to get that new mortgage. Stewie can guide you through that process. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
We don't want you on our team. You're too slow and fat.
This is weight bias.
Don't you care how you look?
Those with the serious disease called obesity face weight bias every day.
You're not the right fit for this job.
And blame themselves.
I wish I was different.
Weight bias hurts.
Let's stop weight bias. Be part of the solution.
Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Do you feel like there's a weirdness about the Bill Belichick coverage and his girlfriend and whatever is happening? What is he, the football coach for North Carolina now, UNC? Is that right?
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be the leading detail people would know about him, but it's not.
I didn't realize that he was.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I am this story that keeps bubbling up to the surface. I don't want to be a part of the problem that I am criticizing here. I don't know if Ethan got us that clip.
It's in the K drive.
I don't have that.
I will move it over.
Cute. Okay, put it in the Google and I'll play it here in a second. But I'm what do you know about Bill Belichick right now, Ryan? Like
Deflategate and young girlfriend.
In that order?
No.
What do you know about the girlfriend? Do you know her name?
No.
Do you care?
No.
I don't either.
Susie.
What do you know about Deflategate?
I know that it cost the Rams a
it's there.
World Championship. If you call it that, I call them Super Bowls. You can call them whatever you want.
Does it? Why is Bill Belichick important right now?
Just because of this. That's it. He's also one of the. Is he the most successful NFL coach ever, too?
No.
I think he might be.
I don't know.
Him or Dan Marino.
I can't decide. I don't. And that one, I'm going Belichick.
No.
Okay.
The thing that frustrates me a lot about this is maybe just as a flyover country resident, of which I'm not complaining. Happy for you to be flying over my home. Stay away.
Just don't drop anything.
If you, well, you can. You'll probably miss us. It's pretty rural. But is the reason why this is a story is because he's a New Englander? Is it because he's relevant?
Because he's a New York area
He's a
media.
coastie, and we're not. Like I said earlier, like if Dick Vermeil went out and got himself a 19-year-old girlfriend, would we talk about it this much?
That's a good question. No, but he's also not the most successful NFL coach ever, which I just branded him as. Because
No, you have not made the intro to News-ish by Ryan Wiggins.
Yes, I have.
This is where you have?
Yeah.
I believe it. Ryan's like, ooh, a new intro for my segment. Do you know that for a fact? I don't know that. Do you know that?
Say it again.
Most successful NFL coach ever.
No.
Bill Belichick.
No.
Who's more successful?
Vince Lombardi.
Or Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson?
No, yeah, maybe him. I don't know.
Jimmy Johnson was a Dallas.
Tommy?
This is not a sports talk
Tuberville?
station.
I know who you're talking
Tommy
about.
Tuberville. He's
guy
pretty
with the hat.
successful. He's in the Senate.
Yeah, he's been a major NFL player.
I mean, what is success?
It's a great question. What is?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
Tony Dungy, big fan. Anyway, why do we care about Bill Belichick this much? Why is Bill Belichick taking up time on the cable news networks, the local news networks, all over the place?
Hudson has reportedly told at least one person that she's engaged to Bill, adding a new twist to the high-profile relationship between the 24-year-old pageant contestant and the 73-year-old former NFL coach. Can we do a quick math? What's the years there? 50 between? The New York Times reported 50 years
49
old.
years old. I think that's the age. I think it's 49.
Oh, okay. Anyways, the New York Times reported that Hudson has claimed an engagement to Belichick, though this has not been confirmed publicly by either party. The couple was first linked in 2023, but reportedly met years earlier on a flight. Their relationship gained attention after Belichick's breakup with the longtime partner, Linda Holliday, in 2022. Neither Hudson nor Belichick have confirmed or commented publicly on the engagement claim.
They're so disinterested in the actual facts that they're finding it out and doing math in the actual news report.
I was going to say, that sounds like people who do not care about that story. What's her name? Hudson?
I had to write that down.
Ernie Hudson?
Jordan Hudson.
Okay.
Ernie Hudson.
Bill Belichick. If Bill Belichick marries Ernie Hudson, I'm interested.
Isn't that the guy from Ghostbusters?
Actually, he might have just died also. I'm not sure about that.
Don't do that.
50-year age gap. Wow. When is an age gap? Two questions. How big of an age gap is too much, if any? And does it matter if the male or the female is older? Ryan.
Yes.
Which?
Oh, you want details.
I only need about 8 minutes worth.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably more common that the man is older.
Oh, well, certainly.
So
there
I think
there aren't a lot of women. There are not a lot of men who are out there looking for 50-year your senior women. That's not traditionally the way it would go.
You're typecasting, but
yes, I am.
I'm also talking about. Might be interested in that.
I think you're married, so
I am. I said some of us men.
50,
not me.
50 years. 50, Brad.
50 years is a lot. I think.
How wealthy is she?
There's the
Let's
question.
talk about typecasting. How sexist of you. You think this is just about money?
I said if I were doing it,
I
that
think
would
it
be
is.
about
Man,
money.
that much? Yeah, I would think so.
If you got Bill Belichick money and you meet Bill Belichick on a plane, I might be flirting with him.
I believe that. I've seen Ryan on a plane.
Oh, hello, Bill. I didn't even see you there.
Want to share my
blanket?
blanket?
How embarrassing. I've been a huge fan for a long time. Oh, my gosh, you just dropped something. Let me get that.
Ew. Ew. Too far.
It's the press conference. He announces his separation from Jordan. We're on to Ryan Wiggins.
50 years. Is there 50 years? I mean,
Uh-huh.
you pretty much have to be in your 70s in order to legally make 50 years happen.
Yes.
Is there an age gap that Brad, you've got an age gap with your wife?
I do. She's older than I am. She's 13 years older than I am, and I don't know. I was thinking about your question whenever you asked what is too much. I don't know what too much is, because I don't know the situation. I think it really just depends on the situation and what each party is in the relationship for. Like you look at something like Belichick and you go, oh man, that seems like that's a
Is it
a
possible
money thing.
that Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick truly love each other?
No.
I think it's
I
possible.
thought you were going to say yes. Brad says yes.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's possible.
Okay. Since we're talking about rules, unwritten rules, let's say humanity ends up living a lot longer, 300 years. Is 50 years a lot if you're 250 and your wife is 200?
Totally different situation.
Okay.
But right now, life expectancy is like pushing 80.
I rest my case.
What
That's
was
pretty
your-
much the only point I was going to make in this whole segment. And I just made it.
That's one more than usual. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That if you live hundreds and hundreds of years, 50 really doesn't matter.
Did you see Emmanuel Macron getting ready to disboard, get off of the plane?
Yeah, he was going to go onto the tarmac.
And then this red-sleeved hand comes out. People are saying it's a slap. It's more of like a stiff arm.
Yeah.
This hand comes out and kind of grabs the president of France. Isn't that what he's called?
Yeah.
The French president? Grabs his face and like shoves him out of the way.
Like he's Randy Moss.
And the first thing he does, this is how you know that it wasn't playful. The first thing he does is eyebrows up, eyes wide as saucers, look straight at the camera.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Like,
And then
oh,
a little smile
sugar.
like, oh, hey.
And then he looks back at her, which is you can read this face anywhere. Couples understand this. Did you just do that? that look on his face, like, what the heck are you doing? And then he like waves. He's like, hey, everything's fine here. Everything is not fine there.
We're just goofing. It's just something we do.
What do you know
playful shove
about
to the
Bridget
face.
Macron?
I know that there are rumors about Bridget Macron.
What are the rumors?
Being a guy, being a male at birth. I know that is a rumor.
It is a rumor.
Yes.
Can't verify it.
Can't verify it and went about as far as that.
Emmanuel Macron is 24 years younger than Bridget Macron.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
They met when he was 15.
Whoa.
That's weird.
She was 39.
That's super weird.
Bridget was Emmanuel's drama teacher at La Providence, a private school, when they first met. Their relationship developed, this is all according to Grok, but this is a summation of things with sources and everything. Their relationship began to develop when he was a teenager.
Is it different to you because they speak French?
Probably not in the same way it's different to you, Ryan.
I just think about a lot of indie movies.
It says that their relationship developed when he was a teenager, which naturally would raise eyebrows, but their romantic relationship reportedly started later. When they met, Bridget was married to a banker, had 3 kids, close in age to Emmanuel. She had kids his age. Does any of this matter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why, Brad?
Well, I think whenever they meet like that and he was underage, I think that matters, because I don't believe for one second that they got like, it's like, oh yeah, Mrs. Macron, I remember you. Let's start dating. I don't think that there was some sort of like they just had this student teacher relationship prior to, and then later on in life they finally meet back up. I didn't meet my wife until I was in my 20s. So, and the age gap in my relationship is less than that. But it's not the number; it's the when did they meet, and that's what really gives me pause.
Could you meet when you are younger than 18 but have no relationship and the relationship develops later? I mean, that is what is being suggested here. Yeah,
I think so.
It's possible.
I know people like that. Their relationship didn't start until well after they were not in that position anymore, and it's a healthy relationship, still is a healthy relationship. The age gap, if you were somebody who was young, teachers can start teaching when they're usually like 24.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're teaching high school at 24 and you were to reconnect with a former student, I mean, you could technically both be in your 20s for some time before. Is that like you just can't?
Yes. Yeah. You cannot do that even if you're both of age in school. In fact, I would almost.
I'm saying
like I would say.
I'm saying that the student has gone on to graduate college and comes back into town, and you happen to play on the same like city league softball team or something. Is it still forbidden?
Ooh, it's definitely walking the line, but I don't know that it's forbidden. Ultimately, what shows those things to be not inappropriate is time. If they stick it out and they become, if they get
legit.
married and they have a relationship, then it all kind of goes away.
And if there was no inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because like what Grok is referring to, saying scrutiny exists because the question is when you have an imbalanced relationship from a power structure standpoint as a teacher to a student, you can't be investing any drawing in of a underage person that's grooming.
Right.
But if I would just think it would be such an exception to the rule, but exceptions could be made.
I would agree. Mm-hmm. And also just the French thing.
Do you think that Bridget Macron is a man?
I don't know. I think I'll answer it this way. Je suis votre papa sucré. You know what I'm saying? If you speak French. Oh. So
are you just being Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, a little bit. That to me is France.
Did you say something in French?
Yeah, I did.
What was it?
I want my sugar daddy.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
How do you know that?
That's the only phrase I know in French.
That is the weirdest fact about you. What?
It's true.
Who taught it to you,
Je
Ryan?
suis votre papa
I don't want
sucré.
any more details.
Papa sucré, sugar daddy. I get that one. Je suis votre. I don't know really.
The weirdest thing you've ever said on the show.
They're French, so.
I think that's probably racially offensive.
Is it? It just seems
I'm
more
not
like
French, so I don't know.
French. Just everything. They just seem sexier and stuff. So
sexier and stuff.
Yeah.
Where's my will you
what?
What did you say? Where's my sugar daddy? Who's my?
I want my sugar daddy.
Can you please wrap up? Of all of the things that you would say in French, that's the most appropriate thing. You would be okay with it. We started this segment with you saying you'd like to sit next to Bill Belichick on a plane.
If he was available. Not now. He's engaged, apparently.
Apparently.
I don't have anything to say to him other than just
I think both relationships are weird. I don't know why we're talking about Bill Belichick in the news as if we need updates on this scenario. The Macron thing's a little weirder, world leader, but yet another story about those age gaps. Let's take a quick break. How do you grade the House Republicans? YouTube live chat poll. We'll be right back.
You want to turn around and say goodbye. Until then, baby.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Things will go your way if you hold on for one more day. Can you hold on for one more day? Things will go your way. Hold on for one more day.
I wanted Ryan to finish out that song so bad.
I know that.
One more day. You don't know? Have you not seen
I didn't really like that song.
Bridesmaids?
Yeah, I have. Is that song in it? I don't remember that part.
You haven't seen the movie. Ruler Foods, rulerfoods.com. They get all the fun ones. Ruler Foods wants to make sure that you're always saving when you go to the grocery store, and Ruler Foods, they deliver on that commitment to you. So if you've never been to a Ruler Foods, let me kind of give you the lay of the land. When you walk in, it's set up just like most grocery stores that you walk into. You know how they tell you to shop the perimeter? You got wonderful fresh produce when you first walk in. Our family loves buying bananas, grapes. We buy avocados there quite often. They have great fresh avocados avocados. That's not really an easy thing to always pull off. Ruler Foods does. You're going to get your cart, put the quarter in the cart, you walk around, you get your quarter back when you're done shopping. But they have the frozen food section. They have the fresh meat section. They have everything in the middle, and they have Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices that you can make sure you can buy the pasta. We stock our pantry full of Kroger pasta quite regularly. You get those brands that you are committed to, that you love. You can get those at Ruler Foods, but you just pay less for them. Why would you pay more for them? Shop at Ruler Foods, find the one closest to you, and give them the chance to earn your business. I've heard so many people who, when we go do our Ruler Foods canned food drive or the diaper drive or whatever it might be, they say, "Oh, Annie, I started coming here when I heard you talking about it, and I've been coming ever since." Now it's your turn. You can also schedule delivery to have those savings delivered directly to your door. And find your Ruler Foods at rulerfoods.com.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast, available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, and whether you're looking for independent living, assisted living, or memory care, New Perspective gives you the freedom to live the life you love with just the right support. Beautiful apartments, amazing dining, plenty of activities. Check out npseniorliving.com today. New Perspective Senior Living, a friendlier approach to senior living.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Who has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis? Is J.D. Powers Award winner 5 years in a row and has the nation's best warranty coverage. Renewal by Andersen, that's who. Take advantage of our great May sale. $279 off every window and $729 off every entry door or patio door with 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months. Check it out at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. Renewal by Andersen, a better way to a better window.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save now with 2024 pricing and Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $1,700 on a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord.
I will never forget the freshman in high school who she was riding to a tournament with us. She helped us manage the basketball team. She calls us the alcohol hokey pokey, and I think that's funny. The YouTube live chat poll for today: how do you grade the House Republicans? A, B/C, D, or F? Ryan, I know you were doing some work when Congressman Burlison was on. Did you hear what he gave?
I did. I heard that whole interview because I wanted to hear what he said about that.
He said C-, maybe D, and then he said before the negotiations he would have said F. What grade do you give the House GOP?
I agree with him. I was going to say low C, maybe D. This bill really is the main thing that they've done, this spending bill. And it's just, there are aspects of it I like, okay? I'm not going to say that there aren't. There are a lot of really good things about this spending bill, but it just doesn't cut enough. And I think that's what he was saying. He's just saying, look, we took what we could get, and hopefully we can get some more now that the Senate is, kind of gumming up the gears a little bit too.
Do you think the Senate will make it a better bill or a worse bill?
Man, I don't know, because you got on one side, you got Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski saying, and Tom Tillis apparently, what that guy doing, saying they don't like it, but they're not really saying specifically why they don't like it. It doesn't spend enough. I don't really know why they wouldn't like it. And then you got Rand Paul and Ron Johnson specifically on the other side, who I never really would have taken a Cosmo poll and figured out, like, which senator do you like the most, and found out it was Ron Johnson, but apparently that guy's awesome. But that's the conservative faction, and they're really loud right now. And he says there's several of them saying that they're a no on this until more cuts happen. So I really don't know which way it's going to go. I would think, based on the lack of specifics that the moderates or the swampies or whatever you want to call them are saying, that they could get on board with this a little easier than the conservatives can. So I actually am a little bit encouraged by this.
C?
No, D.
D.
Yeah, D.
Brad?
I'm a B/C, and I'm like a B- is where I would put my grade. I think that you've got to be realistic about what you actually have available to you and what you can actually get, and to navigate the House with such slim margins, with such big differences between the moderates in your party and the ultra-conservatives in your side. I think to be able to navigate that, to come up with what they came up with is pretty good. I feel like it took them too long. I don't like that there are people that are, what was it, the salt thing? Like, this salt discount is going to benefit me because I live in Illinois. It's going to benefit me, but it's not right, and Annie, I think you've said this too, to ask other states to subsidize high tax rates of blue states. And so I don't like that made it in there, and it got quadrupled or whatever it was. So low B, but I have to commend them for getting what they can get, and as crazy as this House is, I think that's why I gave them the B-.
Jackie says D for debt. The good is outweighed by the spending and the debt. Andy said, I'm saying they have an A grade. They're doing what Trump asked. Amy said, I'd like to give the House and Senate Ds for not doing more. We should be codifying DOJ cuts. The president should be signing laws, not executive orders. That's a good way to put it. The only thing that I continue to go back to, though, is this isn't the end. This is Eric Burlison at 1:25, and you can listen to that on the Annie Frey Show podcast on the Odyssey app, or anniefreyshow.com/podcast. Eric Burlison said that this bill was like being down 37 runs and bunting to get on first. Now, when I heard that, I thought, well, is he safe? did he bunt for a hit, or was he sacrificing? Is it a step in the right direction? I think it is. Is it a shuffle in the right direction as opposed to a leap in the right direction? Maybe. But just the fact that we're changing course over what we've been doing under the Biden administration for so long. I mean, I kind of, if you look at it like it's a spectrum, and you look at, okay, here's center, here's where we are on, this is where, we're equal, we're balanced on the amount of money we take in and the amount of money we spend. You'd like to think that that's where we should be. And then some bad years, you got to spend a little bit more. And some good years, you actually make a little bit more. And so you're always kind of ebbing and flowing on that spectrum. Where we were on that point of that spectrum under the Biden administration was drastically, and also at the end of the Trump administration, due to COVID, we could discuss the merits of signing the original stimulus checks. And I think we have a lot of hindsight about the actions that were taken fiscally and certainly societally during the COVID crisis. That the distance traveled from where we were under Joe Biden's administration, the distance that we've traveled on that spectrum, while it might put us closer to central, where we're spending what we're taking in, I think there's a lot of distance that's been traveled on that spectrum. It's just not on the correct side.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And so I think that if you look at that distance as progress, if you're saying it's progress, that means that it's working towards the goal. Progress isn't completion. And I am happy to hear Congressman Burlison specifically, as well as other senators out there that are now going to be tasked with making sure that this bill becomes law, that there seems to be a sentiment that at least politically they know to not be slobbering in love with this bill.
I did like that a lot.
That there seems to be an agreed upon dissatisfaction is this is the best we can do. And the fact that there is a dissatisfaction with it means that the progress from where we were to where we are now, I would not go as far to say it deserves to be celebrated, but I think it deserves to be acknowledged with the understanding that we're all leaning in, looking at you like, you're going to keep going, right? There's still work to do, right? And I think that the president knows that the cuts need to be a huge part of moving in the right direction. But as Elon Musk put on X over the weekend, we can't cut our way out of this. Eric Burlison just said that at 1:25 on this show. You can listen to it on the podcast. We can't cut our way out of this. Wish we could, but we can't. We're going to need growth in our own American economy. So for that, I mean, I would give it a B. I don't know what more could be done, what more could be put into this bill right now that could actually pass. And if you could put everything that you ideologically think should be done in this bill, and if it can't pass, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like some of the Trump priority stuff is separate to me. That stuff has to happen. It's like the no tax on tips. Those are campaign promises. Everybody ran on them. If you were in Congress, you got to do that stuff. I get that. But you're right now, the situation is, You right now, like the bill we're still operating under right now, that's Democrat, that was a Biden bill, is $2 trillion more that you're spending every year than you're bringing in. That's unacceptable. Republicans have reduced that to projected around $500 billion, so like 25% of that. But $500 billion is still a lot of money that you're spending that you're not bringing in.
That's a 75% cut in deficit
again,
spending.
Good direction, but you're not there yet. And so I'm kind of with Elon Musk here, where you go, is that really the best you can do? Because if that's it, that really stinks that we're in this place. And yes, we have to grow our way out. But I really was hoping, really, like Scott Bessent was saying, yes, we can grow our way out of this. I hope that's true, because this is all a big, all of these economic things happening at the same time with the tariffs and companies moving back here. It's all happening simultaneously. I really hoped, though, that we could get the budget down to zero more debt. Like, just if we could get it there, then grow our way out of our national deficit, that would be great. That's, to me, the ultimate goal.
The Trump administration thinks that we're doing that. But why would anybody look and be like, well, government says it's going to be fine. And we're like, okay, it's our guy. That's fine. Until he's not our guy anymore in there. And if you're saying that in 10 years, $3.8 trillion is going to be added to the deficit, that's what was added. How much was added during COVID?
Oh, gosh. It was probably just during COVID or since then.
6?
Just during COVID, it was like 6 or 7. But it's more since then because they passed the Green New Deal. I mean, they all these things that they passed since then even took it up higher.
Do you know that this drives me crazy, and there is a contingent of people listening to us who knows this, but you just said 6 or 7, that 7 is like a thing in kids speak. There's some meme or something. I don't even know what it comes from. But if you say 6, 7, there are people right now, when you said 6 or 7, there are kids that are going 6, 7. When my kids started saying that was like in the conversation, some meme, some video or something had the word 6 or 7, 6, 7 in it, And now I'm like, kids, those are just sequential numbers. You don't get to do that. You don't get to like laugh every time people say sequential numbers. Like if you say 6 or 7, there are people who are listening to the show who thought you said that on purpose. Just because it's 6,
Because
7.
it's a thing?
Yeah.
Because those things existed when we were younger, too.
Yeah.
That you, oh, yeah.
But
it
we
said
were
the
never
thing.
like, oh my gosh, 3, 4.
But yeah, what is it? We don't-
CD.
Is it something?
These are just things that go in order.
Is it something inappropriate?
No, I don't think
Usually
so.
they are. That's
No.
why they're funny.
It's just something that is part of meme culture. And when my kids, like if the number 6, 7 if that gets said in my house, I think it has to do with somebody's height.
LaMelo Ball.
They say that it's like there's a discussion happening. They're like, oh, he's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, LaMelo Ball is 6'7", and there was a song called "Doot Doot" by Skrilla that has 6'7" in it.
Oh, it came from Doot Doot
Shut up.
by Skrilla.
Doot Doot sounds like a character of Ryan Wiggins. Doot Doot lives in Ryan's.
What's this little guy dancing
brain.
here? He's got a couple extra legs there, so he
Well,
can dance a little
he's
faster.
6'7".
He's Doot Doot. That's Doot Doot.
Do you know how frustrating it is to live in a household where you can't say sequential numbers without it being a whole frickin' thing?
Why is it a thing?
I
don't
don't
get it.
know.
It's like when we were in high school and somebody be like, "Oh, my grandma got a new Dutch oven." You'd be like,
Nobody ever says that. Do you know how many times you say numbers and they happen to go in order?
"I just did it."
You did it. And all you kids who heard him say 6, 7, you were saying that because it was literally $6 or $7 trillion. Just whatever you take away from this, if you heard 6, 7 and it stuck in your brain, remember that we added $6 to $7 trillion to the national debt during this time. That's the takeaway here, and Ryan did it on purpose, so
And
you'd
that's
understand.
what Doot Doot is about.
And become a fiscal conservative.
Yes, that's what Skrilla was singing.
See, it's about the underlying meaning. We'll be right back.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. When it's last call and they kick us out the door. It's getting kinda late, but the ladies want some more. Oh my, good Lord. Tell them drink some. 'Cause I'ma put me up.
Michael's Flooring Outlet and igotfloor.com is the website. Your flooring shopping is exciting. I think people get pretty pumped. I would if I were buying all new flooring for my house. The transformation, the life injection into your home when you have that brand new flooring, excited about it. You walk in and you smell the fresh new flooring. You get to look at it. Maybe if it's new carpet, the Mohawk Smart Strand has a superior performance, and you lay on it and you feel the silky softness under your fingertips while you're sitting down there and, playing with the pup or maybe playing with the grandkids. You get to live that life on this carpet because it can handle it. Michael's Flooring Outlet has that rating for you to come check out, touch, feel, and experience. You can also go online, as I said, to igotfloor.com, and you can peruse the different products that they have. You can see the different types of things that you can shop, the different finishes, the different ways to get the hardwood look into your home. You can read reviews of satisfied customers, people who have experienced the Michael's Flooring Outlet opportunity, and you can be the next person who's writing that review and recommending Michael's to the next person who loves the new flooring in your home. Find them online at igotfloor.com.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas.
gas. Use promo code TRADE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRADE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code TRADE25.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
How do you grade the House Republicans? A, B/C, which is one choice, D or F. YouTube live chat poll. We've been talking about it. We want to know what you think. Really, you don't have to make it about this key piece of legislation with the budget, but that's kind of what we're focusing on. How do you grade the House Republicans? 243. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Find your people, the ones that make you feel all right. The kind you want to stay up with all night. You gotta find your people.
Realistically, what was the perfect date, Ryan, if you were taking a lady out, maybe in high school, college, whatever it might be, when you were at least old enough to actually have or assume that you had a semblance of a clue? I'm not talking about like go to the movies and get popcorn and then mom and dad dropped her off after you're done. A real date. What did it look like in your mind?
Man, that's a good question because I don't know that even high school me would have known the answer to that.
Okay, college Ryan.
College Ryan would have liked to have been in a group of people at first, and then like, oh wow, we really have a lot in common.
Yeah, I'm talking about when it
becomes a date.
When it comes time to Ryan's gonna take this lady out, which to say lady means that they have to be at least 48.
Uh-huh.
This is a Macron situation.
Okay, so she's in an old dress. She's a lady.
So take her to TJ Maxx.
She's in an old
Yeah.
dress.
Let's young you up a little bit here.
Let's get that hair out of that bun. Let's go, lady.
That's a
So I think
out of
probably-
context weird thing to say.
I think we'd probably take her to a salon. And then I would just sit there and sort of like, yeah, I like what I was seeing. I just nod.
All right, in the event that it was like somebody who was a year younger than you.
Okay.
Is Katie younger than you?
We're almost the same age, but she's actually a couple of months older
I was
than
just
me.
going to say, the way you said that, she's definitely older than you.
Yeah, she is. She's a couple months. But we graduated the same year, so it's like basically the same.
Are you saying it's okay? You got a problem with age differences?
No, I don't think of her as being older, but I also remind her that she's older a lot.
I'm sure that's
So-
helpful for your healthy relationship.
It's great. The perfect date. Okay, I would say something like an activity like ice skating if it's winter.
It's a lot of risk.
Or
You just want her to like stumble while the music's playing and fall into you so you can grab her and keep her safe.
And then we laugh.
But
and
it's
like, oh my
actually
gosh.
you falling into her and
And,
knocking
like,
her over.
One of us knocks over like a whole pallet of watermelons. Like that's what the grocery store meets are like. I just want to do that, but in an ice rink.
You said that one time I told the story about, I said, what's the worst when you're getting onto the highway and you're in a super late, you're running super late, you got to get somewhere fast. What's the worst thing that you can pull onto the highway when you got to be in a hurry? Because I pulled onto the highway and my dad had passed me. And I'm like, well, I can't drive irresponsibly. Now there's Dad. And so I was setting this up on the air. What's the worst thing that you could pull onto the highway and say? And Ryan said, a couple of people carrying glass pane.
People carrying panes of glass back
Yeah,
and forth.
across the highway. And I think about that weekly. And I laugh out loud every time I think of
I'm glad. I'm glad because it was intended to be funny.
I know. But it killed my story, but it was so funny I just can't.
Did you just think about that because of the cart full of watermelons?
Yes!
Okay.
You're so weird. You think about these weird circumstances that used to be like, these things used to be in like the cartoons we grew up in.
Ryan's brain's a Buster Keaton movie.
Like what you described is the people carrying panes of glass across the highway is like what would happen to Donald Duck. And I feel like Donald Duck. As an adult, I look back at Donald Duck and I'm like, I am of the Fab Five Disney characters, I'm probably 75% Donald Duck. I understand him.
Fab Five.
Yeah, panes of glass.
So anyway, my perfect date.
Ice skating?
Ice skating into like a big pallet of fruit.
Physical, something active.
Something active.
Food? For sure or not
Oh
necessarily?
yeah, we have to get something to eat, I think. But it wouldn't have to be. It could be like we're just walking down the pier. Oh, hey, look, the corn dog guy's here. Let's get corn dog. You know?
Do you...
You know what I'm saying?
No.
The old corn dog guy.
I wanted to go to Brad, but he's got his head buried in his hands right now.
Out of the Forest Park Pier.
It's hard to take my job seriously.
Hey, that's a massive corn dog. How much is that?
Massive is another kid word.
It's only $7 for you, Mr. Wiggins. Oh, thank you. Is that a discount? No.
For Ryan Wiggins, anything.
I'm wearing a shirt that says Ryan Wiggins on it. He didn't know who I was. He just assumed that was my name because it was on my shirt.
Date from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, it is. I think that's what I'm trying to describe. Is a date from a movie that
got
sounded
a goal
cool.
Down at the other end. It's like, if you make this shot.
Brad, perfect date, college.
Oh, man. So it's hard for me because I didn't have a whole lot of game, but generally
You have a beautiful, lovely wife.
I
so
do.
You had
I
enough.
know. I lucked out. I don't know how it happened, but.
And you're a gamer. So
Yeah,
you did have some game.
Not that.
Yeah, it was a
that didn't
Nintendo
help.
64.
Yeah, that
Played
didn't-
GoldenEye all the time.
Absolutely.
With all my spare time.
Instead of going on dates.
Hey, lady, you interested in Pokemon Snap? You take pictures of the Pokemon.
Gotta
in this
catch
one.
them all.
All right. So I would
Pokemon, not women.
Right. You gotta
Pick her
catch
up
all the
from-
Pokemon.
Pick her up from her house, go to the door, ring the doorbell, not pull in the driveway and honk the horn, go to the doorbell, ring the doorbell.
Come out here.
Hey, lady.
Make me get out. Hey, lady.
My go-to was either mini golf or a movie, and then go get dinner someplace nice. Not like Andrea's Steakhouse nice.
Oh, right.
Because I was a poor.
I'm going to take you down to Freund-Leven's.
Because I was poor. But, a nicer restaurant, not like
If you go on a
McDonald's.
date with a woman and you're doing something that involves a little competition, are you competing?
Yeah, you got to play to win. Yeah, you
Wait,
gotta,
win what?
You got to show
the mini
her,
golf or the relationship?
No, the mini golf. You got to show her what you're made of day one so that she knows anytime in the future, oh, if you win, it's because I was being real nice. But we got to establish that from the jump. I am better than you. And you need to know it.
What if she's letting you win?
Then we're going to have some problems
Then
down the
you're-
road, and I
nope.
don't appreciate that from her.
You're in.
Nope.
Yep. If she can legit beat you and she lets you win, you're in.
I don't know about that.
Wait, so Brad, you want her to let you in?
Well, it means that she likes me, genuinely likes me.
What
doesn't
if it's
wanna-
just she feels sorry for you?
Well, I'm pretty experienced with that, so.
Pity?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, dude. We're going back to
Did
high
you ever
school.
use pity?
No.
No?
No.
That's because you didn't have any game. You should have.
I just wondered if you could
No,
use pity
pity
somehow.
dates? No.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go anywhere.
No.
So you want her to let you in?
No. Well, in a
He
way,
just
yeah. I want her.
malfunctioned.
I want her. I want her to like.
Yeah, what?
I want her to like me enough to know that she doesn't want to hurt my feelings or anything like that. So.
Absolutely not. If she lets me win, I'm mad. But I wouldn't know it if it's a first date.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't.
Unless it was like, let's play a little
How are you-
basketball,
how are
Caitlin
you-
Clark. Thanks for going out with me. Oh, I beat you.
Speaking of Belichick, so
she just likes me for my money.
it's about the same. No, you like her for the money, and she's like 50 years younger than you.
This is working out well for me.
Caitlin Clark.
I could probably beat Angel Reese, though.
So if you Just anyway, let's not go there. That's too much of a tangent. So Ryan, do you want her to compete against you, and if she can beat you, you want her to beat you?
Here's why this is in her best interest. Because now I'm going to want to be around you more because I want to keep playing you.
If she beats you?
Yeah. I want to keep showing that I've got enough game to go after.
How do you
this.
handle getting beat by a girl on a first date?
You just kind of brush it off.
No, like how do you?
Are you around your friend?
I'm not asking how do people. I'm asking how does Ryan Wiggins handle getting fair and square beat?
What are we playing? Miniature golf?
Pick anything.
Or are we playing something like, are we playing football?
MMA.
Okay. If we're actually cage fighting, and she beats me, I don't know that we have a future. I'm gonna walk away from that.
I'm gonna just suggest that she probably doesn't want that future.
I'm gonna ask first question, what's the purse?
Basketball.
Second, I don't care
Golf.
what happens because I got the purse.
Golf. You were a golfer in high school.
Yes.
She beats you in golf, fair and square.
Yes.
How at the end you're checking out your score, she beats you by 6 strokes.
That's rough.
Yeah. Do you ask her out again?
Yeah, we go play golf again for sure.
Just so you can beat her?
Especially if she's hot.
Just so you can beat her?
Yeah, I think so. But I also I have respect for her though.
And then okay, so there we got to it.
Yeah.
You respect the fact that she beat you.
Yes.
What if you go golfing again and she beats you again by 7 strokes?
We got to keep going. We got to keep playing until I realize that I can't win. And I'm like, haha, but I just dated you a bunch of times.
So then that's a win.
So I tricked you into going out with me for 5 hours a day.
This is real.
Yes. Yes. But I'd also make a bet because I got to win somehow. I'd say, look, loser at least gets like a free meal
How many
afterwards.
times are you bringing up the red tees?
Oh, is she playing for the red tees?
She's a lady.
Oh, every hole. Constantly. I will never stop bringing
So
that
you're
up.
like, you only beat me because you played from the women's tees?
Yes. I'm going to say that over and over and over until we even the playing field a little bit. And then she beats me. Now, mad respect. Now, you got to buy me dinner.
Aren't the red tees just equity?
Yes. But you've heard me talk about equity on this show.
And how you hate women?
I hate anything associated with women.
That's not what you
I was
said.
going to say equity, but I thought it'd be funnier to say women. I think equity's stupid. And so if you want to play with the big leaguers, you got to play from the tips.
Are you saying you're the big leaguer just because you're a man?
Yeah, I am.
Fair enough.
I'm like a maybe bogey golfer. But I can hang around there, 9 over after 9.
YouTube live chat poll for today. We're just going to change it to how do you grade Ryan Wiggins? We're going to give you the results here in a second.
How do you grade equity?
How do you grade the House Republicans?
Women.
Brad, your answer to this question?
It's a B.
Mine's a B. Ryan?
D.
D?
Yeah.
D
D for debt, just like Jackie said.
Yeah, it was a good comment. We've got the results in, and B/C got 54% of the vote. A came in at 15%. D, like Ryan said, 21%. 10% of y'all gave him an F. We had some people saying that they gave him an A because they just did whatever Donald Trump wants. That might be the actual truth, and I guess it's just an A or an F depending on how you feel about Donald Trump. We appreciate you listening. Make sure you check out the Annie Fry Show podcast. You can get it on the Odyssey app, wherever you get podcasts from. If you're not a podcaster, go to anniefryshow.com/podcast. Easy playlist for you to check out right there and listen to anything you missed. Kush Desai from the White House, Congressman Burlison, and everything else. Stick around, Mark Reardon, coming up next.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
ArtisticDecks.net. Make sure you call them, 314-280-0821. Hurry up and make that phone call so that you can have the deck of your dreams installed at your house before the summer wraps. Of course, Artistic Decks, insured, experienced, providing you free design and consultation with over 20 years of knowledge, experience, and success, making people's decks affordable. The envy of the neighborhood. You can reach out to Artistic Decks online at artisticdecks.net and see some of these absolutely stunning, show-stopping decks that they have put on people's home here in the St. Louis area. A small down payment officially gets you on the schedule, and if you book now, you can have your deck built before the summer is over. You can ask about their 500 square foot discount as well. Reach out to Artistic Decks and get in line for that beautiful deck of your dreams on your home this summer. 314-280-0821, artisticdecks.net.
The Range St. Louis West is launching the countdown to 250 years of American freedom this July by giving away 5,000 rounds of 9mm ammo. 5 winners will get 1,000 rounds each, and winners are going to be drawn July 1st. Don't miss your shot. Enter now at therangestl.com/ammo. You have to be 21 or older to enter. It's open to Missouri residents and Illinois residents with a valid FOID card. No purchase necessary. therangestl.com/ammo.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.